All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Fucking baby, let's get prehistoric in this shit!
Don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to. I've never done this.
Are you?
Well,
you're scared.
Welcome back to the Prehistoric Podcast, episode. Episode 8 in our 10th annual 12 Podcasts of Christmas.
This is going fantastic.
I'm one of your hosts, Stockwell Day.
Your Stockwell Day today. All right. I'm Andrew Sorsdahl, and we can take our earplugs out for this episode.
Oh yes, it's not quite as loud as it normally would be. Today, Francois is taking a minute behind the
switcher.
The switcher. Today's episode is brought to you by Dove Men. I'm just kidding. We do have on today, however, the fine gentleman from a whole bunch of shit. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
My name is Joel Guéret from little old Bellevue, Saskatchewan. Saint Isidore de Bellevue, Saskatchewan.
And from here on out, everything is in French. No.
Je peux essayer de parler français pour 60 minutes.
60 minutes?
Je pense que ça va être 60 minutes.
Cool. Are you done?
Yeah, because I don't think anybody here understands me but you.
And I'm Mark. I own Funky Moose Records. Yeah. And you guys do a podcast and a music festival and an open stage.
We got a bunch of stuff going on. I'll tell you guys.
There's a lot to unpack, so where do you want us to start?
Yeah, well, I'm going to just say everything real quickly, and then I want to get into some fun stuff. But, so yeah, I'm the president of Moose Fest. It's an annual music festival that we've had 3 so far, working on our 4th, out in our hometown of Bellevue.
It's very annoying to Google Maps to Bellevue.
Unless you know French.
Yes.
Right?
Fuck off.
So yeah, short version of it is we've got a music festival, a radio station, a podcast, an online record store.
Digital marketing services.
I think that,
Between the two of you, do lots of shit.
Yeah, and we're also hosting the open stages at the Capitol Music Club in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, every Tuesday.
Super easy place to Google. Throw it in the maps. There it is.
Yeah.
Type it out in English. No problem.
And you'll get there. You'll get to the proper location.
Well, what's funny is that I used to tell people just Google Funky Moose Records and you'll end up in Bellevue.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
And then I changed the address to my PA address.
Oh,
so everybody shows up at the UPS store. It's great.
That's hilarious.
I think it's getting better now, though. I think there's been an update on that.
Well, why would you be Googling it? How would you know?
So because when
Google myself all the time.
When we have guests,
have you Googled yourself lately?
Oh God, no.
You should.
No, it's when we have guests coming out to town for the podcast and stuff. They're like, "Well, where do we go?" And then I need like a link to send them for that. But I've been sending them the restaurant because that's where we go anyway. So it just takes them right there.
Makes it easy.
That's smart.
Have you Googled yourself lately? It's been a while. Been like probably at least a year, maybe more. You should do it again. I should. You used to be when you Googled me, because my dad and I have shared the same legal name. You would just get all the stuff about him because he was like a published surgeon and had a bunch of like stuff published in international stuff and news articles and whatever. I wonder if I've eclipsed that now or not. I don't know. I guess social media stuff ranks high on Google too, right? So it would probably be all my like LinkedIn and Facebook. Have you Googled yourself lately?
Not in a while. No. I think last time I did, I found out I was dead.
Oh, I'm a serial killer. Oh, not a serial
killer.
I'm a murderer.
Where are the bodies, Mark?
I killed my wife, apparently.
Did you? Yeah. Interesting.
I'm quite lucky because not a lot of people spell my last name the way I spell it. So
Rutherford or whatever.
Rutherford Crescent.
Doxing us.
it's-
Jesus. Doxing us online. God. Peterson with
Yeah,
a
it's usually
D.
with the T. So when I type my name, I usually get me and not some awful serial killer or something with the same name. Is your
Well-
last name quite popular
No,
in the Netherlands? No,
no, and it's an American that did that. So,
really.
yeah.
I mean, when you Google your name, you do get a creepy, weird serial killer.
Yeah, no,
Right?
yeah,
Like,
right.
just like not a different one.
And Andrew has Andrew's last name is like a protected last name in
In Norway.
In Norway.
It's a whole thing with history in Norway. And it was like back when Vikings took like slaves and stuff.
They didn't give their name to
They
the
didn't.
slaves.
If your name is protected, only people who are like bloodline of your bloodline would have
know.
that name. And then if the name isn't protected, if like you were taken as a Viking slave, you would take the name of the whatever family you
Right.
lived with or whatever.
Oh.
So
I don't
there's
know, it's
way
weird.
less of them.
Yeah, Viking slave shit, and I don't fully understand it, but
So are you a Viking slave or a Viking?
no
Viking.
Viking, like Viking royalty, like Viking nobility, like protected name.
Speaking of Europe, that's where Mark originally used to live, and so we were gonna go out and get some European stuff because last year we got some European stuff.
This is mostly Moldovan, I guess.
Yeah,
not
so
not by design, but
Andrew went, and almost the stores around here just sell Eastern European stuff. So
I tried to look for Dutch, like a Dutch food store, but there was nothing came up on Google.
No, because you
Old
get
Dutch potato chips.
you
Yeah,
can buy
that's
the stuff
literally-
you can buy Dutch stuff at Superstore.
Really?
That's why. Yeah.
Oh, like what kind of Dutch stuff? What should we have gotten?
Well, cheese, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
you
right.
can also get beschuit. That's they call it Dutch rusk. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a double baked bread.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, there you go. So we have some beautiful Moldovan treats. We're gonna have a
Should
few
we
to go through.
Should we start with the
I really
mineral
want to
water?
start with this.
That's the soda.
Yeah, this orange pop. Look,
Because you're thirsty.
Moldovan.
Yeah, you want to pass me the other one? And we'll pour them down the line.
On the thing.
Yes. You're the camcorder right there. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Is that in the shot? Can you see that?
So we're going to drink this. This is orange flavored
There's
drink.
no booze in this, right?
no
I
booze
don't-
in anything.
Just
Orange flavor,
for
yes.
those of you watching, I haven't drank in like 12 years.
You're
you
what we
guys.
call a recovering alcoholic.
I'll
take
always
your,
be.
it
a
smells like an
recovering
energy drink.
alcoholic. But even the guys had offered some like a non-alcoholic beverage, and I won't even
No, that's
dabble
fair
in
enough.
that.
No, this is pop.
He described it as a soda, like as a soda type drink.
Eastern European
It
soda.
looks like iced tea almost.
Oh, it smells like booze.
It smells like an energy drink. It
Oh,
smells like
fuck.
Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull. Is there caffeine in there? Oh, you can't read it.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, it's in Moldovan. The only thing not in Moldovan is the English word Moldova.
Just like
Ingrediente.
Sorry.
I can't even. It's different alphabet.
Yeah, it's
so,
Cyrillic.
Oh shit, I would drink this.
Well, you're gonna.
Actually,
you are
hey,
drinking it right
we,
now.
We brought something that might go well with this.
Oh, okay. Well, let's all have it. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Yes.
Happy
cheers
holidays,
to
seasons,
orange
greetings,
flavored
all that kind of stuff.
stuff.
I
Energy drink.
want to say how honored I am
Yes.
to be on
Oh.
here again.
Oh,
you guys,
God,
I love
jeez.
freaking spending time with you guys. You guys are the
Yes.
shit, man.
Oh.
I freaking love you.
Feeling
guys,
is
man.
mutual,
So
my
thank you.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay. Honestly, it's
Sometimes.
We're pretty great. Not gonna lie about it, but
Depends on the day. I
this
guess.
is cool.
it tastes almost like creamsicle.
Yeah.
Like
It's
it's got like a.
like a Mr. Freezy, like an
doesn't-
orange Freezy.
It doesn't smell terribly appealing.
No, like the white Freezies.
No, yeah, it does. It's like an orange and a white freezy, is what the flavor reminds me of.
It's not real sweet.
It's more like one of those swirly
sweet?
candy things.
Yeah, those Campino things.
Yeah, that-
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, it's like a Campino.
Yeah.
But it smells like a Red Bull. Like it
We-
smells hardcore, like chemical, like vitamin chemical.
Mark made an interesting thing. We did bring a gift for you guys as well too, and it might go well with this actually. So, there's one for each of you, Fran.
I'll pass one
My
over
dude.
to.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my
Christ.
god.
This show is not sponsored by, but you know.
It is
Hey,
not
Moose
sponsored
Fest was.
Friends
by
friends of
Lucky
the
Bastards,
podcast,
but-
I would say.
And Fran, this one's for you.
Fran, come get it.
Well, I'll
or that, yeah.
I'll,
So this is actually, these are like, truth be told, these are.
No.
This is a wonderful gift that you
Smoke and mirrors.
purchased.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we,
Just
well,
for
we
us.
did.
Hey, you
we
know,
did
the funny
buy
thing
it.
is, so these two, well, everyone in this room was at my wedding. And I bought $30,000 of alcohol, which we didn't drink. And I didn't return the Lucky Bastard stuff because I bought it through the brewery. So I had 22 66s of vodka left over after the wedding. And we just finished the last one.
And now,
I've got
another Hell yeah, dude.
of the Lucky Bastard vodka.
Well, you didn't
We should have
personally
brought
finish
those
it.
alibis.
We could have.
No, but thank you very much. This is a very nice gift. This is good vodka.
It's great. Like it's for the price, especially. You're not going to find a nicer vodka, I don't think.
No, it's.
Are you saying we gave you a cheap gift?
No, you're saying you gave us a great gift. It's like my mom is a vodka connoisseur. She's like a Grey Goose snob, and she prefers Lucky Bastard over Grey Goose.
Really?
Interesting.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. That was close.
Yeah, so those are for you guys. We know you guys.
Should see if that goes well with.
We're alcoholics.
Yeah, give it a splash if you want.
I got to drive, so I can't. But
Wait, I can drive.
no.
No, he has to drive.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna a little splash.
Glug, glug, glug,
For
glug,
every
glug.
splash,
Francois, maybe try a little bit in
for
your
every splash, you got to
in
take
your
a chug.
mouth.
Or your mouth.
Shit.
I am excited. This is actually an interesting
It's on the floor in the front.
combination, I think.
I mean, nothing goes better with a Moldovan drink than vodka. Like this is
It's
just
true. It's
I mean,
probably what it's for.
Moldova is pretty close to Russia and Ukraine and
Is that-
whatever. So.
yeah.
Ooh,
Anybody with
Cheers,
a
bud.
that's pretty stellar.
anybody with a Cyrillic alphabet loves vodka.
That actually goes crazy well.
I really enjoy that
I like actually. I
the
like
Russian
this.
word for vodka
We're not
is
out here yet.
vodka, and the Russian word for water is voda, which is just vodka without the K.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Voda.
The only difference between water and vodka is the letter K.
You know what goes good with vodka and orange flavored drink?
Orange
One of our candies that we have here. Do you have that fourth fruit one, Fran?
We already ate it.
You already ate it? Oh, well, we'll split it. Split one of these. These are our fruit.
Oh, I thought he ate
So
it.
this is like Dutch, as well.
No, these
these
are
are
Moldovan candy.
Moldovan.
Also Moldova? Really?
These are
I
fruit.
actually don't know.
They're fruit,
Wait.
fresh and fruity exotic.
This is
Fresh
in
and fruity
English.
exotic. I don't
From-
know.
Kind of like you, my dude. Fresh.
Oh, these are Polish.
Polish.
These are
Krakow.
Polish.
Oh, we're getting closer to Holland.
Yeah, there we are.
Oh, these look like those.
They have
Christmas...
soy, peanuts, and milk. So if anybody's got a peanut allergy,
No one's allergic to peanuts or milk, are they, or soy?
No.
I already popped it in my mouth. Oh, this totally tastes like.
God, you fucking Eastern Europe. Well, this, I don't like.
I don't hate it. I
Mark,
wouldn't
as
get it
somebody
again,
from
but
Europe,
Holy fuck.
do we still consider Poland part of Eastern Europe? Like, is that, or are we starting to get into more like Central and Northern Europe? Like, what do people in Europe think of Poland? Like, do you lump them in with the East Bloc shit,
This
or
actually-
are they
that's good.
more?
I like it.
Yeah,
Anything east of Germany is Eastern Europe.
yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing. Just
No, certainly, but I think that
Very sweet. Both what you're saying and I actually like that.
It's
That's-
like a sweet candy, but also with,
it's so
with sugar
fruity.
on top of it.
It's very
Yeah.
fruit. Like it. At first, it kind of tastes like what I imagine fruity soap tastes like.
Aren't these things on like Christmas cakes?
Similar. It's like a jute. It's like
Jujube
a
almost?
yeah,
Yeah.
They're very similar to like a jube. Yeah.
But softer. It was
Yeah,
very
it has
like a-
like.
It falls apart.
yeah, it was
yeah.
very mushy.
I feel like the sugar on the outside was quite unnecessary.
That was a little much.
Yeah, a little overkill.
Do you have fillings in your teeth?
I do.
Do you?
Only a couple.
So
yeah.
when you have stuff like that, do you ever get like that weird feeling when you bite down?
No,
Old
Not
school
like
fillings.
not like a tinfoil bite.
I
but
had
like,
a good dentist.
Yeah.
if you're
He had
experiencing
modern
tooth pain
dentistry.
from sweet sensitivity, you probably
Dude,
have more.
speaking of dentists, I have this. The last time I went to a dentist, for whatever reason, she was supposed to do some work on this tooth, and then she like grinded out underneath one of an additional tooth, and she made like this little kind of rut in there, like a divot kind of thing. So now whenever I'm like eating, I always get food stuck in there. and I always have to like.
Shout out to my friend
always
Dr.
get
Jesse
stuck in it.
Eben, who is our friend who's a dentist. She
In Swift Current,
yeah,
Saskatchewan.
she does awesome dental work, but I had a really hard filling in the back, and it was like from my wisdom tooth, it was like touching my other tooth. So she dug it out, and she's like, I did the best I could, and then it started to plug up with food all the time. So I called it my Jesse hole. I'm like, I keep getting this fucking hole filled up with food. So she came back and fixed it, but I also like didn't even think about this one thing that I addressed with her, because when I'm in a dentist's office, I just feel like it's like, you know what you're doing, like. It's like, is there anything wrong with your mouth? No, my mouth's good. Like, as long as there's no pain, just, like, you're the professional. And she's like, I have a drill here. Like, do you want me to just, like, start grinding off, like, if there's any sharp teeth or anything? And, like, I had, like, all these old, like, you know, little chip tooth here and there, or, like, my wisdom tooth had a really weird shape. She's like, I can, like,
Fix
round that off so you don't have all these sharp points in your mouth. And I'm like, fuck. And she's like, yeah, people need to know. You can ask your dentist, like, this fucking thing is so sharp in my mouth. It doesn't need to be like a medical problem for them to deal with it. She's like, so she just ground this edge off. It took her like 2 seconds, and now I have like this nice round, smooth tooth, and not this fucking jagged old piece of shit in my mouth.
I just have so much anxiety at the dentist. I don't like the dentist, like people poking around in my mouth. No one does. I don't like that. But I also just like every time they do anything, I'm like, oh fuck, how much is this gonna cost? Like, you're gonna grind down that tooth. That's an extra $1,000 right there. It's like,
Yeah, like,
Do you not have dental insurance?
that's
well, actually, I do now. I do now because my partner has insurance that I have through her.
But that
so-
stuff's like, that little shit is not expensive. Like, she charged me full price for, I don't know, it was like an extra $40 for her, like, to go and grind that stuff down. Like, I'm like, you don't have to do it for free. Like, I'll pay for it.
Remember last year when I said I had a cracked tooth? It's still cracked.
Still.
Yeah.
Why don't you get that fixed? Do you have dental insurance?
I do.
It is kind of
It's one of those things that it's
not that big.
annoying sometimes, but it's like
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I left until it was like, this is starting to fucking hurt.
Yeah.
And then, like, other little things. I had fucking braces for years, and I used to have a dog bone in the back of my 2 front teeth. And it had glue on the back. And I just found out, she tells me that she's like, there's still glue there. It's like the orthodontist left glue. I got my braces removed when I was 15. For like over 20 years, I've just had these globs of glue, and she just like buzzed them off.
that might be our new prop.
Yeah, it might be, but we're podcasting.
I'm just saying, I'm excited. We have a prop. We've ordered our first. I think one of our first like
Is it a-
professional
It's a
prop.
dildo.
Is it a stripper?
It's a dildo.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Anyway, so
So do you gotta go answer that?
no, it was just
No.
purely a package drop off.
yeah, but we want to see it.
I want to see this dildo.
No, we're talking about.
All right.
We've got
All right.
you're
We'll
each
look at
You'll
it
see.
after.
You'll see it after
Speaking
before you
of
guys
teeth,
leave.
we want to see this dildo.
yeah, exactly. So I've been interested to ask you guys how you felt about the most recent year of Moose Fest and the growth of the whole thing, because obviously you'd only done the last year when you were both on the podcast. That was last year. Or was that 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Last
year.
year.
Yeah.
So that had been the first year you had done the outdoor, right? When we had talked about
Yes.
it. So how did year 2 go compared to year 1, and what have you learned even more since the ongoing life of being a festival host?
Interesting.
Okay, I'll start off with, if you ever want to make money, don't organize a music festival.
Yeah.
There's no money in it.
No.
Not for the first.
5 years.
Several years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that what we think it was, Fran, or no? No. No.
False
That
alarm.
was exciting for a
Damn
minute.
it. No dildos for you.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything that I've really learned. It's all stuff that we've already known. I think it's just more of putting those pieces in play. Things like, you can't please everyone. So
Yep.
it's like, what are you actually doing it for? What's the reason for it? If
Yeah.
the reason is to make money, you're not going to, so
No.
don't do it.
Do something else.
If you're trying to like please a specific audience, you're not going to be able to do it. I just really found the simplest way to do it is we do it the way we bring in the artists that we want to see, that we're friends with, that we have a good time with. And really the bottom line is it's for the artists. That's the bottom line.
Well,
it's
initially-
just a good time.
Initially, we started it as, wouldn't it be cool if? And then we started the first edition. And then, okay, well, now we can start paying the bands, which is priority. We want to pay the
Bands
bands
are
first,
always paid first.
and then, sorry to everybody else who's involved, but if there's no money left,
There's no way
you'll have to
left.
wait.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's all there is to
It's
it.
not that you're not going to get paid. It's
You-
just
you
that
will get
there's going to
paid.
be a delay on it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
So we were experimenting with ticket pricing, for example. We're going to experiment again this year, but the opposite way. So this past year, we increased tickets pricing, and we want to see if it makes a difference if we
Decrease it.
decrease
Right.
by significant.
It's more of like butts in the seats at this point.
Yeah.
It's like it's nice. It's clearly nice to cover all expenses, but aesthetically, if I would rather have 1,000 people at $25 a pop than 100 at $50 a pop.
right. Now this kind of
Trying to do that math.
Well, that maybe not the best numbers for as an
I know
example.
what
but
you're
you get,
saying,
but
though,
you
yeah.
get the idea, right?
You'd rather make a little bit less money and have more people there
Yes.
now
than make more money and have less people there.
Considering
Yeah.
all expenses.
now
are
obviously
covered.
your hypothesis is lower ticket prices, more attendance. That's
That's the idea.
That's-
and
That's it.
also, the last few ones were on a long weekend, and we've heard several people say that, well, I'm off to the lake that weekend. So now we're
summer's
going to do.
tough, boy. That's a tough
Yeah.
weekend.
So we're going
There's
to do it the
something
weekend
every
after.
weekend.
Yeah. We're going to do it the weekend after the long weekend. Hopefully that'll.
Yeah.
I think for me the kind of comparison I'm drawing in my head is I sat down with my cook staff at the brewery and one of my questions was looking at prime rib pricing. And this I equate this because it's like if you're coming out to Bellevue to go to a music festival, in my opinion, you're decided that you're going. I mean, unless the price is so fucking egregious that's like there's no way I can physically afford to do this. So I'm interested to find out if it has this direct result. And I know my example here is like if you're going to have prime rib, you don't care what the cost is. You're going out
Right.
to have prime rib, or you're going out to Bellevue to go to a music festival.
Yeah, it's weird to like go out for prime rib and then be like, it's a little bit more. This is expensive. It's
I'll
like
get the steak instead.
unless it's like double the price of like market value.
Yeah,
or
so I mean,
something,
we
but-
jumped our when we were still serving prime rib, we jumped our price up like 15 or 20%, and our sales didn't decline. So I'm interested to see if that sort of thing is as effective. And I'm like, obviously these are very loose comparisons, but it's something that I've been thinking about in my head about like, you know, because I also live in a world where I have to deal with pricing and how much is that affecting people coming? and
Right.
not?
Yep.
So did you hear any direct people being discouraged by pricing? Like, did anybody come right up to you and say, "This is too much money. I can't come this year"?
Well, there was, but not about ticket pricing. It was more about the what do you call it? Not like the tables, the booths.
Vendors?
Vendors,
oh yeah,
thank
vendors.
you.
Vendor
It was
spots,
more
yeah.
about that. There was like a thing that started. There was like a little thread that was starting where people were. What did we charge, anyways? Was it?
$200.
It was $200, I think, for vendors to come out, and they have like all access. They can do whatever the hell they want for however long they want, right? It was the basic idea. And there was some people complaining about how that's expensive and it doesn't make any. And it's like,
I pay $25 at a street fair.
yeah,
Well,
but it's like, hey, our tickets are $55 for the whole weekend. You're getting 10 bands here, okay? So, and if you're bringing 4 people to stay at the whole event and run your table, we're actually negative $10 or whatever the number is because we just gave you 4 tickets to attend this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely,
you basically bought your ticket and you can sell and make a profit here. So what are you bitching about?
and comparing it to something like a city street fair that's funded by the city.
Yeah, like you
Yeah,
can't
it's
compete with that.
Yeah, it was. I had to
It would be
step
nice
away
if we
from
could
it
get
because
funding from any.
I'm so bad with that when people comment stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like I really want to just chew them a new asshole and get into it and just be blunt about it and like, well, don't come then. I don't give a shit. It's not for you, clearly.
And that's why I answered it.
So I stay completely away from that kind of shit
that's where
because I'm
Mark
gonna end up
comes in.
saying
Yeah.
something I'm gonna regret, and that's gonna. So it's usually Mark. You need to deal with this. Like you can.
Well,
you
like
can-
I'll tell you, like somebody posted a review at Prairie Sun the other day. It was like, yeah, this place is awesome. Get rid of your old shitty chairs. It's like, yeah, I know the chairs are old and shitty. Do you have 20 grand to come buy me new chairs? 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't have 20 grand to buy me new chairs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, but I can't say that in a fucking.
Exactly.
You can't
Right.
apply that in a fucking review.
Well, you could, but it wouldn't be wise.
It would not be a wise
Yeah.
thing to do. So
Well, some people might appreciate your bluntness.
Yeah, they might.
But that percentage is probably smaller than.
What I would say is that I think personally, from my perspective, that the ticket pricing was on point. You guys are bringing a lot of acts in. The problem is that I think that
It's because it's an
before
hour
you
away,
get
right?
there, and also because these bands don't have drawing power the way they should based on how good they are, you don't realize the value of your ticket until you get there and see the music.
Right.
The perception of value beforehand is so much lower.
Yep.
And I think once somebody gets there, like, oh, this is why I paid whatever to get in here, because these are like not skinnamarink dink bands. Like, these are like actual very talented musicians. And I'm
Right.
getting to see something.
Yeah, this isn't a cover band at Buds on Broad. No shade to them, but like, you're not going to pay.
But I'll tell you,
$50 to see.
I've paid $15 to get in to see cover bands at Buds on Broadway, and if I'm getting to see 10 authentic artists, I should be paying at least 10 times that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And it's also
You will never ever see a cover band at Moose Fest.
No.
no,
Maybe, but they're gonna play original stuff.
Yeah.
but it's also
If that makes sense.
it's like the attendance that we had last year or this past year, the people that were there were either people that were there the year before and other artists.
Right.
So, the other artists are probably coming for either one or two or three bands that they know.
Yeah, I noticed that as well too. Other artists that weren't on the bill that were
Yeah.
in attendance, that purchased tickets, that came out in support of not only us but the other acts that were
Yeah,
there.
like,
That's
part of the
that made me
community that
happy.
we've got here.
Hell
Yeah.
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 I was like,
I had a on the Moose Fest topic, but like kind of interesting question, because you guys were at Dog Patch with us this past year, and Joel, you've been twice now, and I'm wondering, like, not just Dog Patch, but like, what has attending other festivals, like, has that informed anything in terms of how you guys, not necessarily the business side, but like, did you learn anything from that, or take anything away that was like, you know what, that's a good idea for Moose Fest? Or
Yeah, but they're
it's like probably lots of small stuff. I imagine.
little things.
Like, oh, they put this thing here in
Yeah.
relation to the stage, so like,
yeah.
ooh, that's a good idea, having the
Yeah.
beer gardens in this way. Or
Yeah, like Dog
exactly.
Patch has that little grandstand there. I really love that idea. I want to figure out how to do that at Bellevue Sports Ground.
Yep.
I want to like freaking buy Bellevue Sports Ground and just
yeah, I mean,
vamp.
We've had
that
this
whole
discussion.
thing.
It's not going to happen.
But, I will say one thing. One dramatic thing that I noticed. It's for 2 years now we've been involved in, it's not a music festival, but it's a big concert in Moose Jaw. And it's a youth mental health fundraiser. And obviously you will get some inherent built-in audience as soon as you start donating money to charity. There's just, you're going to get some of these corporate people who are just coming to say that they're part of the...
and tax write-offs
yeah,
and all
part of
that
the
stuff.
activity and stuff. But there was such a dramatic surge in popularity in attendance this year.
with Corb as the headliner.
They brought Corb London.
Holy shit.
Now,
Yeah.
obviously, that's not an easy feat.
No.
But, boy, if you can pull off something like getting some... Because who did the Chilliwack last year? And it's like,
Who really cares?
people know who that is, but it's not enough.
Right.
So I don't know if there's like a sweet spot of like a...
Yeah, if you talk to people who book, like, I've talked with,
I'm trying to get like fucking...
yeah,
not like trooper, but like someone that like they're old enough that they're not crazy fucking expensive, but people know who they are and they want to come. But I don't know what the answer to that
name
question
of the name of the game, from what I like, the sweet spot is, there was the year the Dog Patch had the most people was the year that they were able to, like, they booked the Dead South and Coulter Wall.
Yeah.
The year, like, they booked them before they blew up, and the year between booking them and them playing at the festival, they fucking exploded.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's obviously, like, it's really hard to predict that reliably, but that's obviously what you're looking for. You're looking to pay like pre blow up prices for an artist.
Yeah, but I
and then
mean,
have them.
Unless
Obviously,
you're
that's you can't.
Nostradamus, you're not going to.
You can't predict. Well, I mean,
We've got 6 bands booked right now for next year already.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
When you guys are looking to book acts, I know you guys don't necessarily go about it the same way as other music festivals.
Absolutely.
Actually, before we move on from that, the thing with getting a big name headliner is you also need to sell more tickets. So I'd rather spend, let's say, $3,000 on a fairly unknown artist to headline than $30,000
and then you're
and then have to
have to sell.
Have
An
to
extra
sell enough
1,000
tickets to
tickets.
cover 30
I don't
grand.
disagree. My only point to that might be this. It is kind of and I think especially if you have your festival to a point where it's like the only reason people don't know about this is because they've never been here before. And if I can get them here, they'll never stop coming back. So I think that's in the case where you could maybe leverage a headliner.
You
to
almost
sacrifice
yeah.
this year's, lose your ass on this year, bring everybody in, show them the best time in the world. It's like, I'm never not coming back.
Right.
And again, this is way easier said than done.
But then you also have to follow that up with another headliner the next year that's as good as the one you had before. Because
You have
those
to-
people are going to be disappointed.
You have to be willing to do it for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
And you have to be in a position where you can actually capitalize on it. Because if you do it year one and you don't know, like, you don't have the built-in audience, like, you almost want to wait till like a year 4, year 5 when you've.
Oh, big
Well,
time.
what's
that's-
nice about that too is in that timeline, that duration. So a little inside baseball, you guys, if you do have a festival or whatever, for like grant applications, for example, they will not take you seriously unless you can show for X amount of years that you are self-sustaining.
Right.
So there's lots of grants. There's $100,000 grants and 20,000 here, 50,000 there, but don't even apply unless you're already 3 or 4 years of running it successfully, because
Yeah.
they won't even look at it.
And then
The-
even
the-
then, you're not guaranteed.
And
It's a
exactly,
grant application.
even then,
right?
it just gets you your name in the system. That's it. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're approved, but so you have to be self-sustaining before. It's like getting a loan at the bank. You can't get $100,000 loan
Unless
at
you
the
have
bank
100,000.
unless you have $100,000.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
And it's also the reason, like, if you book a big band year one, there was a music festival in PA that first year went belly up because they had Yukon Blonde as headliner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you definitely. The other thing you don't want to do is have Core Blonde at Bellevue in year one, like that level of person. And then
Yeah.
everyone gets there. This is like, this infrastructure is not nearly what I'm used to when I'm
Yeah.
seeing this level of an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is fucked. I don't even want to be here.
You don't want it. You don't want like a mini fire festival on your hands.
Yeah.
I love that story, and that documentary is so well done.
Yeah.
Speaking of fire festival,
Oh,
let's
segue.
have this. Try this, Borjomi.
Also
It's
from
a-
Moldova.
This one is in sparkling mineral water
Oh, it might be Moldovan.
infused with wild strawberry and herbs.
You're going to have to, let's give
Actually,
this
what is the country of origin? don't think it's Moldova.
It's 0 calories. I know that.
I don't know where that is.
Georgia.
Oh, this
Georgia.
is a product
Right,
of Georgia.
It's from
We got Georgia on our mind.
Borjomo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the name of the place in Georgia. Borjomi. Borjomo.
Are you sure that doesn't mean hello?
Gorlami.
Yeah, buongiorno.
Well, it says
Buongiorno.
source at whatever Borjom that Georgia.
That's like in Inglourious Basterds. Gorlami. Okay. Yeah, I speak the best
Buongiorno.
Italian.
So was that
Ooh, it
was that,
smells quite perfumey.
was that drink better with or without the vodka? The
I
first
liked
one.
it better with the vodka.
Yeah.
I liked it better with the vodka, but I
It
enjoy
reminded
vodka,
me of
so-
vodka Red Bull.
Yeah, without the terrible chemical taste.
Gorlami. No, I mean if everyone had the answer for how to make a music festival pop, a bunch of people would just have music festivals.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
I obviously part of it is just fucking sticking it out. That
Yeah.
is a big part
Yep.
of it.
And you got it. Like I think what you said at the beginning was very accurate. Like if you're doing it just to make money, you're not going to stick with it. And if you're doing
Yeah.
it because you love it and you want to do it, and it's
We've
a passion thing.
we're trying our very best. Like, I'm not hot-headed. Well, I'm a little hot-headed, but I'm very
You're French.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know, man. It's not that I don't put thought into things, but it's like if I want to do something, I'm just gonna go out and do it. If there's an artist or a band I want to do, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do it, right? So Mark is kind of the voice of reason here when it comes to that, because if it was up to me, we would have went bankrupt year one. Yeah. Like, I would have gone big or gone home. So Mark
And
kinda,
then ultimately gone home.
yeah, and ultimately gone home, 50 grand in debt. But it's no. So there's all these things that we want to do, but Mark keeps it very level-headed, where it's like we're not going to bite off more than we can chew here, so that we can do it next year. Which is why, like I said, we've got 6 bands booked for 2024, and we're already talking about 2025 already. Like we need to be ahead. It's like, okay, so and keep that budget in play. We cannot overspend here because then it's going to affect the following year.
Yeah, the biggest problem for me, and I don't, obviously it's a good thing, but it is very sad to go to a local show and the only people there are musicians supporting each other. And it is good that they're coming out to support each other. That's not the problem. The problem is it just becomes you give me $30 to come to my show and then I'll just use that $30 to come to your, like, there's no forward momentum with that.
Right.
And I'm just like, all these people are paying like a fucking $2,000 to see Taylor Swift. Like, come on, guys.
Yep.
If you like live music, go to a local show, go to something, check it out.
Yeah, you're gonna end up seeing the next Taylor Swift before they're at that level.
You don't even need to see the next Taylor Swift. You just need to see all these really talented people who are working hard to put on good performances.
Yep.
I was sitting in our local Sutherland bar years ago, and I was talking to the bartender, and he's like, "Hey man, do you know anywhere like that's bartending? Like, I want to get out of here." And I was like, "I don't know. I know they're hiring a Capital Music Club." He's like, "Oh man, that place downtown, isn't it really sketch?" I'm like, "Oh, is this what people think that don't like? If you're not in the scene, is that the perception?" And that's no discredit to the ownership there or anything that's going on there. It's just like a shitty attitude towards like, don't go downtown and don't do stuff like that, and like just being ignorant of the situation.
That's exactly what that is. It's ignorance.
So I think, we had.
Did you guys all try this?
No,
Let's try
I
it.
haven't
right.
tried it yet.
All right, cheers, gents.
Cheers.
I don't know if this is going to be any good. It's mineral water infused with
You're gonna have to add some
strawberries and herbs.
Bubblegum.
I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
It's
Not a
my
fan.
jam.
Not a fan.
You don't like it, Brad?
No. If I'm drinking something sweet, I want it pretty sweet.
This feels half-assed.
Yeah, it's last year we had
finish
these
it,
This
we
is
had
the opposite.
these
The scent for me is nicer than the flavor.
Try a splash of some Lucky Bastards.
What's the
vodka
vodka
in
and
there.
everything?
but to your point, going back to like what you were saying, Joel,
Recovering
about
alcoholic or current?
you being I think you guys are such a good team from this is outside perspective, obviously, because you have both sides of that equation. You have the dreamer, the one who's like, oh, we should do all this cool stuff. And then you have the more like pragmatic, like, well, that's cool, but let's keep it more manageable. And I think you need both sides of that to do a success, especially when it's something like a music festival that kind of inherently is a little bit like head in the clouds
could
kind
go
of thing.
anywhere,
Right.
And I think also to attract people to something like that, you need some of those like
and
cool, crazy ideas.
And to credit of the dynamic, lots of Joels do music festival style stuff. Not a lot of Marks do music festival style stuff, and that's
True.
why lots of that kind of
True.
shit fails all the time because there isn't that pragmatic approach, and a lot of pie in the sky stuff. It's like, oh, we could do this and that. And it's like, where is everybody? Like, did you advertise this thing? It's like, no, but we put all this work in. Like,
We have all these
there's
awesome
flags
bands, yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. We put posters up at the post office.
Exactly.
Oh, you got 4 people. That's great.
Dude, so the town that we live in, population $110 maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's 110 for the non.
So this last year we had just under 400 people come out to Bellevue, Saskatchewan for the festival. I counted 9 people from our town. 9 out of 400 people showed up.
See,
So
he
that's
ge- he gets-
another. It
he gets riled up about it.
I
don't-
do.
yeah,
It pisses me
whatever.
off. But
I think it speaks to like the thing we've talked about this before this round of the podcast. In New Zealand, I think it's a little microcosm of what we have in Canada in general and what we have in Saskatoon specifically as well. And in New Zealand they call it tall poppy syndrome, and it's where like you see someone from your area doing a thing, succeeding, doing whatever, and the first instinct isn't, oh, let's like, I want to see them go. It's like, no, we have to cut that poppy down so it's the same height as us.
Oh, that's
and it's like it's whatever. It's a
I don't know-
haters gonna hate jealousy type thing.
And this
It
is
is.
probably
Unconscious as well, I
probably a
think.
terrible fucking idea. But have you thought about like, this is all again not a good idea, but like discount tickets for people that live in town or something to incentivize them to try
Why?
to come out?
See,
Why
those
would we do that?
discussions have been had, but here's where my hot-headedness comes in. Is like, why would I benefit the person that doesn't want to support? right? If I have to lower my price,
And this isn't because
to
people
get-
are destitute in Bellevue, and I don't know about socioeconomic. Like,
Well, there's a lot of elder people in Bellevue, so I mean, I'm not saying it's because they didn't want to attend or whatever. Like, but if they're 80 years
the
old,
only
and
reason
maybe they don't want to come to that.
like
The
I don't
only
know. Maybe
reason-
it's a slum, and I don't know that. But
No. The only reason I would do that is because we're inconveniencing them for that one day because it's going to be loud throughout the whole town. So we can give them a discounted ticket. But it's the only reason, not
Right.
because I seriously need them there.
yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, has this created animosity in town between you and the townspeople?
Not at
No,
all.
no.
Not in the least bit.
So they're just like, they don't care to support you. You don't care to have them there, and it's like,
They're more like, they're supportive in like, do what you want to do. Go ahead.
Yep.
Do
Hey,
whatever
that's
you
more.
want.
That's more than you'd get in a lot of other towns.
That's
to be
true,
fair.
Yep.
yeah, like giving you free reign is nice. How about the surrounding communities?
The first year we did it outside, we had some St. Louis, Waka.
Actually, the first year, Waka showed up.
Year 1 we had some Waka people. Year 2 we had Waka and St. Louis come out.
Yep.
Well, and like
And
there's been
year 3, we had PA
Yeah,
coming
the
out.
rural communities. There's a handful out of each community. So there's been
Yep.
like St. Louis, Birch Hills, Dormy, Waka, Rostern, Warman, McDowell, that I'm aware of. And those are all kind of like little towns in the vicinity of our little town.
And they attend in very small numbers.
Very small numbers, yeah. We're talking like maybe 2 or 3 from each town that have come out.
Right.
That I'm
what would be
aware
the
of.
biggest?
I'm not
What's the
saying
biggest
that-
nearest center?
PA.
PA would
Well,
be.
no, but there's got to be something like smaller than PA in the area, like
Waka
roster.
or
Roster,
roster.
roster.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess in the summer, Waka would be jumping.
So
Right.
you guys like push roster? Like, where the
No.
fuck are you guys?
Not really. Well, not really pushing. I mean, I'll post some stuff on their Facebook group, that kind of stuff, notifications, and they approve them. So like, I mean, there's support there
It's-
too. They're like, yeah, all right.
I think it's more Waka because we have that digital sign there too, in the lead up to
That's right.
to Moose Fest.
There was one discussion we had is actually moving Moose Fest to Waka one summer, just because the regional park is there. And then they've got, if we could promote it at the regional park, it's a 10-minute drive to town to get them there.
Realistically, they can drive 20 minutes to get to Bellevue.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
Should
But
we
that's
try
not-
another one of these potentially terrible snacks?
Sure.
That Marco Polo is intriguing to me.
Yes, let's do it. You
Why don't you
want to
crack that open for us,
crack it
Mark?
open and we can share it out.
Marco.
Polo.
Yeah, I'm really. Yeah, it's always been a very interesting topic to me. I mean, we've been involved in music festivals in one way or another since kind of the inception of Prehistoric Productions. We hosted our own complete and utter failure of an event one time.
Product
So
of
I know what that
Poland.
looks. I know what that looks and feels like for sure. I mean, I had a free concert at my wedding and I couldn't get people to show up. So that
That was
goes.
Dude,
that
that
was awesome.
a lot.
Your wedding was
That was awesome.
like
If I could, I'll be
yeah.
honest, if I could go back in time to your wedding, one thing I would do different is I wouldn't have brought my son there with me. I think I would have had not that I didn't have fun. I had a frickin' blast, but I had to be a dad as well. You know what I mean? I would have liked to just
I
let
just put my
loose a
kids to
little bit.
bed.
Yeah, just put it in the bed.
Yeah.
But it was great. He had a good time.
pass that down for everyone's enjoyment.
Here, break.
No, you crack it.
I remember these.
Yeah,
We had similar stuff in Holland.
It just looks like a chocolate wafer. That's all it is, huh?
Yeah.
How about some
that's quite good.
ASMR here?
that's what our viewer tunes in for. If you're watching the Prehistoric podcast and you don't expect a fat bearded man to eat something on camera,
Fran's just
you're
got a
in the
scowl.
wrong show. That's just for you,
Is
baby.
that my-
Oh, that's your
listen-
phone.
That's my phone. Listen, hen dog in the background.
I really like the aftertaste of this.
Is there more?
I only got one of those, unfortunately.
We're just tasting. We're eating. we got a case.
There's
of
like candies on the floor here, you guys. What the hell are those little balls?
Oh, they're from the
Oh,
gingerbread houses.
we made gingerbread houses and made backstories for our little
shit.
gingerbread village. You'll have to
No.
tune into that episode.
Hey.
Right there. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, Francois made a custom banner,
I love it.
Holy shit.
a rotating banner.
Yes.
It
That's
has
the-
all. It has
that's where you
all
guys
of
can
your
get-
socials.
Websites there. I love it.
It has
That's
all.
where you can get
Do you have
websites.
Do you have my
Is that what you said?
OnlyFans up there too?
Joel.fuckaphone.eu.
Yeah.
The Tele Francais?
Yeah.
Tele Francais. Tele Francais. Tele
What else
Francais.
you got there, friend? I am.
It's like 3 minutes long. You guys have so much social media. I tried to get all of Moose Fest stuff in there, sit down podcast stuff, and
Moose
fucking
Fest.
stuff specifically. And I was like, am I gonna do digital, like the marketing stuff? Am I gonna do your personal socials?
Yeah, I know. It's like
Oh fuck! I wanted to get your personal socials in, but I was like, this is very.
Instagram.com/mark.poppin.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
The serial
Joel,
killer.
Joel
It's
V.
a serial-
Gadet on
Look at-
Instagram.
Oh, look at that. It's us. Hey, and it's the right, like, that's you.
Yeah, it is. You're sitting in the
That,
proper
just
way.
serendipitously.
That was so that logo right there is another YMH.
Sticker Champ, yeah.
Sticker Champ is who did that for us. I
I've been off the
found him.
YMH lately since Nadav left. I think it's gone downhill.
have you been watching Nadav's content?
Yeah.
What do you think of it? I was telling Mark about
I think
it
it's
on the
I think it's
drive-in.
interesting. It's really cool. So for those of you who
Aren't in
aren't
the
YMH
circle.
fans,
This is what Brad and I
Your
tune out.
mom's house.
yes, your mom's house fans. Sorry, they're like producer who like basically his joining the show was like went right hand in hand with their trajectory and getting way more viewership and blowing up and whatever. So he recently left the show.
Why?
MH.
I think a lot of it.
MH?
Oh, fuck.
Why
Why
MH?
MH? YMH?
I said why, and then he said MH.
Yes.
I'll say about next. Yeah.
Sorry, it must have been that wafer.
But he left. I think primarily because he did what he wanted to do with that show, and I think he also saw the writing on the walls of things going a little downhill. I think with comedy especially, it's really tough because the whole thing with being a comedian is like how it works is like you're relatable, right? And so your jokes work because people relate to them and relate to you. And when you become famous and rich, you become not relatable by and large. And whatever, there's this whole thing in the community now. I think Nadav got out at the right time where Tom does this bit. He did this bit that was kind of funny before, and now it's really not funny, where he's like talking about all the poors and they do this and that,
Right.
like playing this really like insensitive rich guy. And it was funny before when you didn't think of him as this
I've seen
insensitive
this,
rich
and
guy.
it felt a little more sincere.
It did. It feels a lot more sincere and a lot less like jokey. So
That could be the bit, though.
well, it's a bit. It falls flat.
Yeah, you're the guy on the Titanic that's like, they're gonna pull this thing back. It's like if
Hell
the
yeah,
boat's
man.
cracked.
Never give up. Never give up.
He's becoming this pretentious douchebag, kind of.
Maybe.
I think a little bit. I think he's just to say it without getting too much into like the who's right thing of it. I think the summary of it is he's out of touch. It's really hard to like. It's like you see the same thing with musicians when they start writing songs about like being touring on the road. It's like, yeah, most people can't relate with touring and being on the road. It's like, and same thing with Tom. It's like you start writing jokes about like, oh, doesn't it suck when you're on your private jet and it's like,
See, I think
no,
that's
I
where
can't
like,
relate to that.
I'm wondering, from your opinion, do you think the Two Bears, One Cave audience is more okay with that because it's just two guys and now it's like with all the ridiculous birthday present shit and all that stuff? Is it more acceptable than like the family?
I think with Two Bears One Cave, it's a little more. It's like buddy comedy, right? It's like two best friends bullshitting.
Because it
So it
kind of
doesn't-
feels like Tom Segura is getting snobby.
The thing is, he's always had that, and it was kind of funny and read more as a joke when he wasn't like obviously hyper wealthy and whatever. And now it's like it's just not as relatable, and I just think his comedy and
I
content.
still
has
feel like
suffered.
Bert's more of an everyman.
Yeah,
He's
I
coming
don't
to
disagree.
Is he?
Him, Whitney Cummings, and
Yeah, next year for the Comedy
what's
Festival,
her
yeah.
name? Steph.
Curry?
No, I can't remember.
Oh, actually, this is a
can't
great
remember
transition.
her last name.
You guys brought us out to a local comedy show, and it was great. And we actually had some really good stand-up comics, and they weren't all local, right?
Was it that
There
just
was
for laughs?
Saskatchewan.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, yeah.
Saskatchewan, not
There was
Saskatoon.
what's
yeah.
her name? Dakota.
Ray
Yes.
Williams. Yeah.
Yep, she was there that night we went, and she just had something at the Capitol that was a sold out show. I think
She's-
last Thursday.
Was she
or
the
She's
awkward
talented.
one?
Yeah.
She is so goddamn
Right?
funny.
I know.
She was the what?
On the Just
The one
for
that was like
Laughs.
the awkward, like.
No, that's not her.
Oh.
She was on.
Yeah,
Just,
she is. That's the one from Meadow Lake or something.
Dakota. You're talking about the one with glasses who was like, kind of like Mitch Hedberg. Like, oh, my boyfriend.
Yeah, that
Oh, no,
that's
no,
not
that's
her.
not the
No.
one.
Oh,
She's awesome. I saw her at an open
Oh,
mic
okay.
recently.
She's
like a month or
fucking
so ago.
hilarious.
She's really funny.
But the
yeah.
other one was also funny. The
in a different way, but funny.
Is that the one that sings?
No,
Okay.
No.
not that I know of.
I'm
No,
lost
this one. What's one of her bits? Something about how she's like part indigenous or whatever, and she lived in a trailer, and I don't even know because
and now she's rich and out of touch.
No, she's not rich yet, but she's
Yet.
doing what she needs to be doing to grow in the business. Like I know she just took the stage at Just for Laughs in Toronto a few months back, because I saw some clips about
Yeah.
it, and she had a sold out show at the Capitol. I don't know. She's doing doing great.
She's super talented. Like I've seen her. Like I'm in a comedy group on Facebook, like local comedy group, and she posts all the time and is like always trying to give advice and whatever
yeah.
to other up comedians that are trying to, do stuff. So she's really nice. She's
That
really
should happen
awesome.
in the music industry too. Anyway,
Well, so
Yeah, there's a lot more camaraderie, I think,
in
In comedy
than
than music?
in music.
Well,
generally speaking, I would say.
say there's more camaraderie in music in Saskatchewan than any other province in this nation.
The thing is, I've heard
Manitoba.
I've heard
really good things.
really good
about
things about Manitoba, and I've heard also
Yes, but I don't think they're at our level of that camaraderie yet.
that. No.
Mm.
Because I know bands in Manitoba that have specifically like you guys are just all in it together there. Like you guys are all friends. Like how does that happen?
I think we also, from what I've heard, I don't know, I wasn't part of the scene 15 years ago, but I heard that from people who have left Saskatoon and Saskatchewan because the scene was
Dog shit.
and toxic and whatever. And so I think that there's been lots of work that has happened in the last decade or so. And I think it's partly like there's a national global shift of generally like we're not competing for the same, like you're not competing in this way that people think you are.
Yeah.
We can share the same audience just because you're a fan of whatever Britney Spears doesn't mean that you can't be a fan of Christina Aguilera,
Right. Or Metallica.
or there you go, even
Yeah.
better, two totally different
Yeah.
things. Yeah. So
because you're both.
Yeah. I'll fuck with both of those.
No, I think that by and
Mark's
large,
face.
I'm DDF.
comedians seem
Yeah.
to really have each other's backs.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think because as a comedian, this is just my very outside perspective, but I think because you're, by definition, you're a solo thing. Like with a comedian, you don't have a band. There's no opportunity to have like that type of camaraderie at all, really, typically in comedy. So it's like a bunch of like lone wolves that kind of
Need to form.
and
Yeah.
and they know what like all their experiences, regardless of the type of humor you have or whatever, your experiences are very similar. Whereas with music, a country artist is going to have a way different experience to a rock band, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah,
Well,
and, then,
yeah.
and then it's also between rock bands. Like if one guitar player doesn't like the band anymore, he leaves for another band, and all of a sudden those two don't like each other anymore.
Yeah, there's a whole thing that happens there. And
Dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because comedy is just is it funny or not? That's all it is. It's about
Yeah.
the jokes. It's not
Yeah.
purposely out there to offend you or piss you off, because somebody out there finds it funny, and that's the market they're trying to reach out for. So it's really, is it funny or not? And if it's a joke that you don't like, wait 30 seconds. There might be another one that he's gonna spit out that
Yeah.
makes your belly laugh. Like just
True.
Just bear with it. I don't know, man.
Like open stage.
Yeah, if there's a band that goes up that you're not a fan of, just wait 2 more songs.
Yeah.
Because there'll be another band coming up that's could be completely different.
And what do they say? What do they, it's like the weather they say here, you don't like the weather, wait Wait 20
Wait
minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah, exactly, right?
I have another question I've been thinking about a lot because we've been, like, as we've been doing the 12 podcasts at Christmas separate from, like, not doing the just mainstream podcast anymore. We've been trying to, as best we can, introduce, like, more interesting guests. And we recently had a guest on. And we very rarely had guests where we don't know them ahead of time. And I know that you guys have had quite a few guests that you either just reach out to them or contact them and actually have more of a genuine interview.
Mhm.
Tell me about your best experience finding somebody you wanted to talk to, getting a hold of them, talking to them, start to finish. Best experience.
That's an interesting.
And you can have two separate ones. I don't care.
That's an
for different
interesting
reasons.
loaded question because each one is different.
Yeah,
They're all case by case.
Some of them are the lead up to them on the show is interesting, but then they drop off and we never talk to them again. Or we have one interaction, they come on the show and now they're now friends for life,
Right.
basically. So it's
They all,
if I have to pick one.
yeah.
Or
Doesn't
just
even
even
your
just ones
favorite,
that
just a
stand
real
out.
positive
Yeah.
stand-out experience.
Well, I guess Josh would be one that
So okay, yeah. Actually, that's good. I because I kind of do want to talk about Josh a little bit.
well, there you go.
It's
That-
kind of
that's-
another, I guess, quote unquote cookie jar we got our hands in a little bit, and
Yeah.
that all
Did you get the record
stemmed-
label on here too? Because
Yeah,
that
Because
too.
now we're kind of a record label. That all kind of, I know, right? That all stemmed from him coming on the podcast. So, very short story on how we got him on the first time was I saw him opening up for LJ Tyson and Prince Albert. Him and Taya and Mercy were on stage, and as he was singing, I was like messaging Mark, like, holy shit, you should be here because this guy's voice is phenomenal. Like, this guy's great. So I got to meet him after, introduce myself, and it was like, hey, we have this podcast, whatever. Would you be interested in coming on? And he was so willing to. So we lined it up. We got him on a Zoom call at that time, and throughout the conversation on there, he ended up performing a song. It hadn't been released. It was just something he was kind of fiddling around with, whatever. And it, like, we were looking at each other as he's performing it, like, holy shit, this is a banger of a song, right?
And the first question after he was done playing, is this yours? He's like, yeah, I wrote that.
Yeah, 100% his, he said. So
Yep.
then we were encouraging him, like,
and that's not your cup of tea musically generally.
I'm not a fan of country music.
Not really.
So for that to be a stand-up performance for you speaks volumes.
Well,
I suppose.
I
it
think
was
we're
just-
both of the opinion that good music is good music. It doesn't really matter what the genre is. And this was one of those songs that it doesn't matter.
It was just
what key
everything
or
about
whatever.
it, just lyrically,
Yeah. His
melody
voice.
wise, yeah, the tone of his voice, just everything about it was just like, holy shit. His age even was a factor in there, and
He was
him just
19 at the time, right?
yeah, and just being so humble and all of that, it just all stacked up, and it was like, holy shit, this guy's great. So for like a year, we kept encouraging him, like, you need to record this. Like, have you done that yet? We'd bump into him every now and again, and it never happened. And I'll try and keep this story a little shorter.
You want
but
me to take over? Because then it'll be shorter.
not really. But so we run into him at the Capitol one night, and again the question
This
comes
was
up
open
like,
stage.
yeah, have you recorded that yet? And it bottom line was finances. He was like, I don't have the money to do it.
And
He
that
had-
was the night Aspen Beverage from Skull Creek Studios was in
Hauntera. I was that the first night that we hosted? Because I
No.
think
No,
No, 'cause we were at the first.
We were at the
episode.
first one, yeah.
maybe first, second.
it was
one of the first
near
ones,
the
yeah.
beginning of it, and yeah, that's true. Skull Creek Studios happened to be in attendance that night too. Finance was the issue, so we were like, well, we know people as well, so why don't we just introduce you, see if we can, just let's do the one song. Like, you gotta lay it down, man. It's so good. So all those pieces kind of fit. We helped Josh get into the studio, and we covered that bill. We were like, we'll pay for it because it's X amount of dollars. We know you don't have it. Let's just get it out there. That's how much we believe in it. And as that was happening, it was just such a great turnout. We were like, we can do more with this. Like, I know the guy, he's got like fucking 30 songs just sitting in his back pocket that are all great. And it was like, well, why don't let's do a little deal here. We'll pay for 4 songs for you to record. And in return, we'll give you 5 years to give us our initial investment back.
Yeah, initially it was just to record that one song. That
Yeah,
was it.
But it was so good.
Yeah.
It turned out so good. We were like, we can.
You could feel the lightning. It was lightning.
And
in
I think,
a bottle.
and you also
Absolutely.
mentioned like it wasn't just Josh. It was also the combination of Josh and Aspen, and
for
like
sure.
that collaboration
For
also.
sure.
and
Actually, here's
Aspen is a producer,
a
right?
little. You guys clearly have all heard the song, right? Called
Oh.
"Drink Me a Lullaby."
Many times.
I'll tell you something you might not know.
Fran, can you put that up here?
Yeah. Put a picture of Josh up there. No. The slide guitar that's in the intro of that.
Yeah.
Do you guys know who's doing that?
Is it you?
It isn't me.
No.
It isn't me.
Is it someone famous? Isn't it?
Yes.
In my
Yeah.
eyes,
We think he's famous.
if you had
Is
to
it
guess,
is it Paul Kuzbik?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
bang
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
It was. That's Paul Kuzbik from Haunt Era that does the slide on "Drink Me a Lullaby."
Really?
Yep, that was him.
That's a kind of cool little collab.
Freaking
Skip
right.
the
Sam.
ads.
We can't. We don't have YouTube Premium or whatever the fuck it's called.
Cheapskates.
No. I want the ads to support.
This song. If you guys watching ever see this image or it's
Hit play.
just started playing on Sirius
Is
XM.
that an Aaron Brown photo?
No, that was actually taken at the Capitol.
Yeah, but who took that photo?
I
Not
think it
Aaron.
was just like Josh's friend.
Yeah.
It's a cool photo.
It's a for our fan from the podcast. We know you'll like this song.
Yes, we know Suede will like this.
Yeah.
It's he just broke 100 on the charts. I think he's at 90, sitting at 94, 96 right now, something
Yep.
like that.
For Canada or North America or
Canada.
Canada, as of the recording of this podcast, but that'll go up by the time this is out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got him on Sirius XM now. So Top Country channel 171 on Sirius XM. You'll hear this. Yeah, it's performing. There's a lot of cool stuff happening that I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah.
Because it's not for me.
I mean,
to
coolest
say.
of all, we're going to be filming a music video for it.
That's
so
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
That's
that's true.
cool.
That's true. That was and that was it. That was what was so lovely about it is the friendships that we've been able to make with you guys and Skull Creek and everything. Like none of this would have happened if it wasn't for what we've been trying to build.
Well, we were reminiscing when we were talking about guests who we should have on this year, because like 10th anniversary is a big milestone for us consistently for 10 years doing this. There are many episodes we couldn't release because too
You can
many,
stop this now, friend.
too much
You
drunk.
can't hear it?
It's tough to do both. But we're just reminiscing and realizing that Aspen introduced us to you guys.
That's right.
The reason that we know
I
you
don't
guys,
remember.
because
Me neither.
Because Aspen was like, I want to do a pod. He was like, I want to do a podcast with these guys. They're going to come to the studio. Back when Aspen was operating out of
Oh,
Paul's
in the
basement.
We met these guys.
Yeah,
In
Oh,
Aspen's
that's right.
basement.
and we
Oh,
went
yeah,
to
yeah,
we went
yeah.
to. I met you guys at, or was Mark there? Or was just Joel at that lunch at somewhere
I think
else?
Mark was there too.
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So we went to lunch, and these guys couldn't come. I went to lunch with you guys,
Yep.
and right away I was like, "Ooh, these guys are cool," and like they're up to like, I like what they're doing, and oh, this is awesome. We got to film the podcast, and it was an interesting podcast. It was because it was Leah and Aspen making the song as well,
All right.
and so it's really cool to be around. But once you've done it a couple times, you're like, okay, like I don't love sitting around in a room and where I can't hear myself think.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's but it was cool. It was a really cool
When people
experience.
join us on set when they're doing recording stuff, everyone's like, "That was the coolest thing ever." And I'm like, "Get me the fuck out of here with these musicians that won't quit playing a fucking guitar! Like, shut that thing off!"
right.
But no, the
Jokingly, obviously, but
Is it though?
well, for me it is. For Brad, maybe not. But
you can't stand there like we used to be able to, not with the same intense or like.
I mean, we really just need to, like, side note, write it down. We just need to get 3 sets of those really good.
No, but it's not even about the volume for me. It's
plugs.
just like the not nostalgia. What word am I looking for?
The novelty.
The novelty wears off, and you're like them just like figuring out songs. And so I'm like, yeah, if I was in the room with Lennon and McCartney writing "Get Back," it would be a little bit different than like
Right.
you know,
But at that time, you wouldn't know.
no, I would. Well, that song in particular, I probably would have known was going to be a banger because it was right at the end of their career. But no, that's right. It's just, it's just the way that they think is so different than the way I think. With like the just sitting and like riffing and like looking at a wall and like you know, I have never done anything so purely creative before. That's just not how my mind works.
Well, not by your definition. Like you absolutely have, but just not by your definition.
Not like that. That's so. It's so raw. The creativity
Yep.
there's so raw. Just to like take a fucking piece of wood with metal strings on it and like start making shit. Like that's.
It's awesome.
It's like a whole nother level of like.
People would say the same thing about you and your ability to just like whip up a fucking 360 rig out of a fucking old treadmill and like weld some shit
how
together.
about that,
anything that you can't conceive
that
yourself.
silo bar that you had at your wedding.
That too. That
Like,
was crazy.
What the fuck? This guy just like cuts a freaking
But
bin,
that-
a bin in half, raises it on some 12 by 12s.
It's just like
made
that's,
a
that's so
bar
much
out
more
of
of
it.
like a practical thing than it is like the only purpose of the song is for like art and entertainment. Like that is it.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that someone who plays music would be like, yeah, it's like not a big deal. Like I just fucking it's just this note progression. Like
I just knew
whatever.
this and whatever.
I guess maybe I'm just so naive to the whole thing that the mundane of it is I just think it's so fucking ridiculous and like
Yeah.
unattainable. Unattainable.
Well,
you know
it's
what
the
I
same
mean?
thing with people who come to us. It's like, whoa, you guys like film? Like that's so cool. You guys film. It's like, yeah, like it's a wedding. It's another day. Like we don't.
You should have seen the.
Think
I
of
got
the
the
novelty of it.
ductwork cleaned here today, and the guy that came to clean the ductwork, he like pulls it. He's like, "Oh my god!" He look at all this stuff. He's like, "I moved here from I don't know, like the Philippines or something." And he's like, "I want to do animation," and he's like, "Look at all this gear," and I'm like, "Hey, clean the ducts." No, it was
the
really
ducts
nice.
and get the
We
fuck
had
out.
we had a good chat about like I was like, yeah, he looked us up on our podcast. I was like, yeah, reach out to us if you ever like need some advice in the industry or whatever, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know if it's just like the music thing. We have been so close to music for so long, and it's still such a mystery to me.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. I agree. It's not that I
Part of
don't
that
agree with
enjoy.
you, but
Part of that I do really enjoy the mystery of it.
Well, I was just about to say, is it a job for you shooting a music video, or is there still like, you know,
No, yeah, there's still definitely like lots of passion and creativity with that.
right?
And I guess maybe like because I know so little about music and I know like obviously a lot more about filmmaking, that the things that people are like, whoa, that's so amazing, are also becoming mundane to me. So I'm sure like if I was in their shoes, I could see the parallels for sure. Videography and filmmaking just has a lot less like vapidly staring against a wall and like you know,
Dude,
like,
no word of a lie. I remember, to this day, I'll never forget the first time I ever met Leah Hansen. I think I would have been
Oh yeah.
16, 17, maybe 18, somewhere like high school.
I
right?
laugh because I heard the story a
And
few times.
I was at a at one of his parties in Prince Albert at the
are you
house.
guys like around the same age?
Yeah, we used to hang. We have the same Prince Albert friends.
Really?
Yeah. So I was at a house party of his, and there was
his
like,
his guitar teacher was my guitar teacher.
That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
But there was this big speaker that get like up at the wall, like music playing, and Liat was playing his guitar, standing about 2 feet away from that speaker, facing the speaker the whole fucking night, dude. Like you didn't even see his face. He had his back turned to everything, and just all night he was just playing super
Just
loud.
jamming.
That was like the first night I ever met Liat, and
How'd you know it
never
was
forget
Liat?
that. Well, because it was
it
Liat
was
Hansen.
Lee and Hansen. Man.
He's a phenomenal guitar player.
So
And
did you
rightfully
guys
so.
like reconnect later in life? Be like, I knew who you were before.
Well, so I actually
you-
told him that when we had League of Wolves on the podcast. I was like, dude, I remember being in a house party at your place. Like I told him that whole story. Like I don't think he
And he's-
remembers that.
I was gonna
but
say,
sure, it was
but-
one of many.
I was gonna
or
say I don't
hundreds
think
of
that was like
parties.
a super uncommon occurrence for Lee.
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
time,
That's
right?
exactly how that was. But then through like getting to know him these past few years, you know, every now and again a name will drop, and it was like, oh yeah, I know that guy. I remember that, and that kind of shit. So that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Should we eat these last fucking things I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're going to be good. They're wrapped in gold. They're
So-
Christmassy.
We should.
I don't know.
So yeah, Josh was one of those.
Oh, yeah,
that
Josh.
for getting Josh on the podcast, and I'll let's
Thank
call
you.
this an announcement. But this was super cool. It's unannounced right now, so for those of you at home, you get a little exclusive
It
here.
will be announced right now.
But you remember Richie Valens, like La Bamba, Remember the song La Bamba?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and Richie Valens died in that plane crash with like Buddy Holly. And
Oh
whatever.
yes, yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
So his
I already hate this thing, and I haven't taken a bite of it. Yet.
his
fuck?
brother.
It looks
yeah,
like a-
look. Wait,
like a
I'll
horse
put a
smells
pin in my
fucking
story
good.
here. It looks like a freaking piece of crap.
Not more wafer.
Are we popping
Yeah.
it? Just
Let's
pop
do it.
Wait.
Oh, it's good.
It is good.
Oh, it's
It's
truffle.
like a It's like a wafery hazelnut truffle.
Moldova, you strike
So-
again.
It's,
It's
not
not
Moldova,
bad.
is it?
But I can't justify spending the money on a bunch of these. Like, how many do you get in a package?
They were just loose. You just,
And
yeah, like a,
do you
like a
know how
bulk
much
candy.
they were?
Well, they'd be $1 million because they're import stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Not cheap. I think it was like, including the fucking smoked salmon that I got. that
Oh yeah,
we-
we gotta get smoked salmon still.
Smoke some salmon.
I think it was like $30-something for like,
That's what I mean.
yeah.
Like, it's good, but is it?
I mean, the thing is, if
Worth
this was a
30
thing
bucks.
from your childhood in
Wait,
Moldova,
wait. Okay, I'm gonna Google Translate this shit.
Well, there's something in California.
we stopped you right in the middle of your announcement, though. So your
Okay.
announcement.
So yeah, okay. So
That was the announcement.
La Bamba, right? Richie Valens. So this is kind of cool. He's actually going to be in Saskatchewan. So the guy's name is Mario Ramirez. That's Richie Valens' brother, and he's got a band called Mario Ramirez and the Backyard Blues Band. Never heard of this band before, but randomly one day I get a message from the person who's doing his booking, and they were like, "Hey, would you have any interest in having like Richie Valens' brother on your podcast?" I'm like,
They reached out to you.
"Yeah." I was like, "Fuck yeah, I would." Like thinking, is this a scam? Is this just one of those bullshit things?
This is Ukrainian.
But it
Ah.
was all 100% legit. And I was like looking him up on YouTube and stuff, and I found videos of him performing La Bamba, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, granted, he's not the youngest, but so
That's pretty
the
cool, though.
announcement is Mario Ramirez, who is Richie Valens' brother, is coming to Bellevue, Saskatchewan, and he's booked on the podcast July 18th. So
Well, he's
they're
doing
gonna-
it in person.
yeah, he's gonna come to Bellevue. He's gonna do songs as we do our show and stuff, and hang out with us.
What?
Fuck yeah,
That's
dude!
super cool.
That's gonna be a
You guys wanna film that?
party.
What? When?
July 18th.
Let me look at our calendar because we're already
That's
booking
cool.
into fucking.
So this is
2024 right
while
now.
you look that up. These are candies.
as of-
Svitoch Lviv truffle.
Oh, so it is a travel.
Yeah.
We don't have anything booked July 18th. It's a Thursday.
Do you guys want to be part of that one? It'll be
We could
fun.
probably film that one.
As
would be
of
fucking
right
cool.
now, it's in the books. It's confirmed. It's happening as of right now. So
we'll stay in
unless
touch.
something changes, but
Yeah. That'd be good for you guys to also not have to worry about the production
We also-
side. and
this
just
makes me
focus on-
think
and
of,
just
like,
have fun.
We had
we've
the
been talking
coolest
about that for a while.
potential opportunity that I don't know if it was ever actually a potential opportunity, but we had contact to make a music video for Hot Child in the City.
What?
Yeah. And it fell through, but it would have been so fucking cool.
We had such a cool idea, and like we were gonna do it for the cost of the materials to do it. Like we weren't gonna make. It was like we're gonna do this because we want to do it for this song. And whatever, we don't know.
Money never came out to be the issue because we would have done
No.
it so fucking cheap. I mean, if
If
that
it-
had been the thing, like I
Isn't
would have
that
paid
like
to do it.
an old fucking song?
Like Hot Child
In
in
the
the
City.
City. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted like we had. We'll tell you off camera about the whole thing, but
Yeah.
like it was a very disappointing experience. That was kind of like. I wonder if it was a real opportunity a little bit or not, or how real of an opportunity it was. I guess.
This wasn't like a random scam or anything.
No,
Like,
no.
we had enough credibility that we
we put work. We did a pitch package
Yeah.
and did a whole thing.
not for like make us a musicvideo.com and pack in like
Right.
Korea,
No,
Pakistan or something.
Someone who is a representative of
But I don't know. The project fell. The whole point was
whatever. It felt
the song gained some popularity again. I mean, as
Yeah.
that sort of music gets secular or cyclical,
'Cause it's
it's
TikTok.
popular. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
something
probably.
like that.
Honestly,
Oh, you
'cause
brought
was
it up. We got to talk about TikTok.
No, we don't got to talk about it.
I would love to. We were talking about
there's
Mark having
no
TikTok and you
valid
hating it.
reason.
We got to we got to TikTok about this.
Actually, I shouldn't say. I take that back. There is a valid reason on to discuss it. I just, yeah, the running gag is how I have such a strong hatred for TikTok.
I would love to hear your defense of how TikTok is that different from Instagram, and specifically the Reels function on Instagram, story function on Instagram.
So
I
here's the deal, though, man. I cannot speak on it with enough information
Because you haven't really used
I
TikTok.
don't. I've never clicked on a TikTok. I don't have the app. I have zero.
I mean,
The
I've also
only
never had a
thing
TikTok account.
I know
Francois, have you ever
about
had an
TikTok
account?
is what I've seen from other people.
But you hate it.
Yeah.
I used
I'm
to
just-
say I
I'm
hated
not-
TikTok.
Until
That's
Sandwich Dad.
No, that's a lie. I still haven't watched Sandwich on TikTok. But I use YouTube Shorts in the exact same capacity that someone would use TikTok.
YouTube Shorts exists because of TikTok.
Oh yeah, certainly. I'm just saying,
Right.
like I do
That
the
is
exact
what
same function.
Instagram Reels exist because of TikTok.
I also don't
Yeah.
use Instagram. So that because it's
You're
like
also just hard to get a hold
the
of.
Yeah. Brad's not really a social media guy.
I'm eating a
generally.
pablum of my own bullshit from doing it on YouTube because it's a platform that I'm comfortable with. I don't know the truth behind how much information is being seeded to the People's Republic of China through TikTok.
That's kind of how that all started. for
And
me
I don't
on
care
why
about that,
I was-
honestly.
All North American data is stored on North American servers.
There you go.
If you're really concerned about your data being like, then don't have a Facebook account. Don't have any account.
No.
Don't have
So
any account.
Yeah.
Don't use
And
don't
they
use
absolutely
Gmail.
correct.
Don't have a cell phone.
I just tried to think of
Wear a tinfoil hat.
So where my head's at with it right now is like, what would I use TikTok for? And the only thing that might make any little bit of sense, and this is gonna sound so terrible, is like to exploit my 8-year-old son on there.
No,
Start
honestly,
a TikTok for
the
my
value
son
of
where he
TikTok,
can do.
the
he's
value of
doing-
TikTok is to connect with younger people and people with ADHD.
right?
That's
So
like-
that's my
that's
son right there.
the value of
Totally.
TikTok.
Like he's doing YouTube Shorts right now, and they're fucking performing better than ours. It's crazy. He's got like 50 followers, and his views are like 2,500, 3,000, 5,000, and we have like
On videos that absolutely make no
Yeah.
sense.
As a user of TikTok,
On YouTube.
in terms of from the user's perspective, I joined TikTok initially as like, we're video guys. You have to be aware of what is happening in the space that you're going to create content for. And what I found with TikTok, and what I would say I think is positive about TikTok is, and can be negative, I suppose, but it's the algorithm of TikTok. And once it dials in to what you like, it suggests stuff that fits the things that you like. And so for both sides of that equation, as a content creator and as someone who consumes content, it is way better at suggesting stuff to you that you like, and it's way better at putting your stuff in front of people who are going to like
Right.
it. Like YouTube, there's all this shit about like how many subscribers you have, whatever, and it throttles your ability to the algorithm's ability to put your content in front of other people. TikTok does not have that same thing going on.
And their algorithm also changes per day.
Yeah.
Because if you're into cars today, you'll get car videos. But if you're into ham sandwiches tomorrow, then you'll get a boatload of ham
well,
sandwiches
that's
videos.
kind of interesting.
So, and then,
I get a lot
That's-
about the caliphate now.
Yeah.
The last 2 days.
but it's also,
lots of imams talking about global jihad and the caliphate. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I like
Conservative Muslim
well
content.
because I like we've talked about this for years in the podcast. I try and watch a little bit of political views that I don't necessarily agree with, so I can have a pulse on like what other people are thinking,
Right.
in other
same
camps
here.
and stuff.
Yep.
Same here.
But this also with the new algorithm is like,
Oh, you watched
oh, you
one?
like this?
oh, it's
Oh,
like
watched
now
one
you're
thing.
you are Stephen Crowder. Like
Oh my god.
everything has changed. I'm an imam and I'm starting a global caliphate. It changed my mind, and I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta start watching just like what Pablo Trudeau's feeding me now to try and reset my
That's
algorithm.
hilarious, dude.
But that's also the reason why I'm on TikTok. I mean, in the digital marketing world, you need to know what you're selling, and we sell social media packages, so I better know what TikTok is.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't know what I would even post on there.
You don't have to. TikTok is a consumer.
It's consumer driven.
Yep.
More than
You don't have to worry about posting anything. You just waste your time on it.
Well, see, and that's another reason why I wouldn't. I have
Ruining everyone's brains.
That's
Right?
also true. Yeah.
yeah, like
Society has shortened its attention span enough.
Yep.
I don't think the more we can do to
I just-
fight that.
I just disagree, because if that was the case, how does fucking Oppenheimer exist and get the reviews it gets? How do long form Joe Rogan Experience and podcasts exist? Like, this whole it's ruining our attention spans. Maybe.
No, I think-
But then
I think
how is
that-
there also this massive increasing demand for incredibly long form content?
Yeah, and these short videos are just a promotional tool for these longer videos.
Exactly.
So you see the clips of Joe Rogan's podcast on TikTok all the time, and it's like, oh,
It's like two drug dealers trying to fucking like get a kid in a back alley. This is wild. Don't do it. It'll
you
ruin
don't.
your brain.
You're
I
against
agree.
it, right?
I found myself doom scrolling and it sucks.
And I've
Yeah.
seen so many people do it and totally inattentively and just for fucking hours.
Yeah, it's brutal. I hate it.
Not taking anything into their brain.
No,
can't
I just
stop.
I just take nothing in. Like, I'm absorbing none of it. And I'm just like whoom 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 whoom, and I'm like fuck.
See, and
half an hour went
See,
by.
that doesn't interest me at all.
And it used to not me either. I adamantly fought against it, but then
No, I don't think it matters that it interests you. That's the whole point. It doesn't have to. Your brain is wired for that dopamine hit. So the second you start,
the problem
you're in.
the
Like,
problem with
it's like
YouTube
being
is
on a treadmill.
YouTube will feed you into shorts. It wants you on shorts.
yeah,
So like it's got it like every other column is shorts. So like it makes it hard to differentiate what's what, and then all of a sudden you're doom scrolling again. And then I'm trying to watch long form content. I'm like actively being like, no, don't fucking click on shorts. If you want to watch a video, watch an informative World War II, at least something that's like 14 minutes long that I can actually like get some information out of. And then I swipe up, and now I'm in shorts, and boom, boom, boom.
I
boom.
don't disagree exactly, but it also reminds me a lot of this, like, yeah, the television, it's rotting everyone's brains.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
can't you just sit down and read a good book?
That's
What's
true.
the point of this fucking idiot box in your house? It's like,
This time it is an idiot box.
Sure.
or are you just the next cranky old man
It's an idiot
who's
box.
I've had.
I don't know.
I've had that thought as well. Like, am
I'm
I
with
just
Andrew.
being that old
No,
man?
it's
That's
putting
just.
aside.
I'm with
Take
Andrew.
a stance on this one. This is where enough is fucking enough.
I'm
This
with
is what
Andrew
they
on this
said
one.
in the schools in Alabama. and the
I just don't think anything like this is inherently good or bad. I think it's like, obviously it's how you consume it. Doom scrolling for hours, yeah, not a good thing. Just like sitting down in front of a TV and binge watching 12 hours of Netflix isn't a good thing.
The problem is the one is tuned to do it. The other one is not tuned in that same way. The
That
one
is
so-
patently false.
No,
that is
it-
patently
no,
false.
Bullshit.
It's not. It is not false.
Netflix wants you to binge watch
They
everything.
absolutely want
It
you to
wants
sit there and
it
watch
wants
as much
you
as
to.
possible.
It's not the same thing. Doing 10 seconds at a time of 4,000 things
So-
is not the same as a half an hour watching 10 episodes. It is not the same thing.
Agreed.
is.
You can actually consume the one you don't get anything. Your brain doesn't register a single thing.
The fact that
I'm
you're
a-
yelling
I'm a
at that
fan.
screen right now tells me that you're an old man.
I am passionate. This is ruining children.
Dude,
This
I'm
is
on.
what's killing
I'm
me.
on
This is
Fran's
what's
side.
killing me.
You're
With
just
this
mad because it's vertical.
I don't
video.
disagree about ruining.
That's yeah.
I don't
Probably like 40% of it.
The thing is, you're talking about you're changing the goalpost here, because I'm not saying let your 10-year-old kid sit and doom scroll. That's not at all what I'm saying.
So here's
It's not good for
I
anybody.
had this theory on it too. So like I've got an 8-year-old son. He's on YouTube. He goes through shorts as well too. Like if you ever look at your YouTube analytics and you look at like how
Retention
yeah,
rate.
the retention of the audience. Like sometimes you can have a 10-minute video out there, but
Yeah.
you'll see after like 15 seconds or 20 seconds that graph just drops, and it's like, well, why are they only in for 10 seconds or whatever? But I've watched my son without him knowing, and he's fucking
Creep.
scrolls, likes, subscribe, scroll, like, subscribe. He's not even taking in the fucking content. He's just stuck on
Yeah.
that motion of liking, subscribing to the next. On
Hey
to the
man,
next.
if you're
So,
a
and I'm
content
thinking,
creator, that
dude,
kid is your best friend. It's like,
dude,
you
I'm
don't even
telling you.
need to say like and subscribe. He's boom,
That's
boom, boom,
my
boom.
point.
How
That's
many,
my point,
How many
right?
subscriptions has he got?
Oh, dude, there was like a solid few weeks where it was every night Janelle was like unsubscribing to, like, no joke, like 200 accounts a day. But it's not, because he's not even taking in information. He's just swipe, like, subscribe, swipe, like, and he was just fucking doing that. And I was
And
asking
you can
him, well,
pay
why
bots
are-
in
why are
Russia
you
to do that.
subscribing to these? Well, because they tell me to. That was his reply. They tell me to like and subscribe, so I'm liking and subscribing. I'm just like, Jesus, bro. But my theory was, if my son at 8 years old is currently doing that right now, he can't be the only kid in the world doing that. So how many parents out there have their children
Lots.
and their
So
children
many.
are doing
So
this?
many.
And that's why on that analytics, you'll see a
Yeah.
10-second thing, is because there's like
Oh, it's
millions of kids.
it's
that are
also
doing
it's a
this.
fine line, because like I am of the opinion, like, my son is not, he's not getting a cell phone until he's at least double digits, if not
Right.
later. He's not having like social media until he's old enough to handle that in a
Right.
meaningful way, and it doesn't just affect
Like, he
his
hasn't
brain.
been talking cell phone already.
No.
Like, he's not that, like,
No. I don't think many
That's-
of his friends have them.
no,
either.
because that would be fucking scary.
All my son, like everybody in my son's class has it. They all have kids messenger, so they communicate on there. They're all fucking
They have
playing.
cell
That's
Yeah,
scary
they're-
to me.
well,
That's
or
that's
they use
scary
their
to me.
parents, but they're all playing like Roblox, so they're all playing this game together. They use kids messenger.
That's cool.
They're
That's
all
scary
like
to me.
they're all in VR.
Okay, now I'm gonna take
That's
the
wild.
I'm gonna take the affirmative opposite side of this. Somebody that I've watched, and I don't really love as much as I did, but one of Gary V's, who was very popular for a
Oh, I
while, it's
love that
popular,
guy.
it's kind of fallen off now, to somewhat, obviously. But his whole thing was like, okay,
What is the future we're
what's the
going
future
into?
world looking like? It's like, it's not today, so like your kid better have the main mind brain melting skill, because if he doesn't, he's going to be completely lost in the modern world.
I think it's a balance.
It's like
because
my
it's a
kid should
balance
just
between
play
the
video
two.
games all day, every day, and only go on YouTube. It's like they should have 5 screens in front of them and just be like, we're all going to be just like chair people. And he's like, too fucking bad. You want to be competitive? That's what your kid needs to be like.
Dude,
Just like put USB ports in your kid. Just have them.
So I'm not advocating for this by any means, but my son does something similar to that. So he'll have a show playing on the TV. He's playing, so he's got a YouTube channel playing on TV of whatever it is, frickin' you name it. He's playing Roblox on his phone, and then he's got no, that might be the only 2 things. I was gonna say he had a third thing going at the same time there. But he doesn't. But he'll have a YouTube show going on the TV as he's playing on his phone with like his friends on Roblox or something. And it's like, okay, like how much more are you gonna fucking? If I gave him another device, I'm sure as shit he would fucking have. Another
I think
thing
it comes
going.
down to in this new modern world, it's, are you autistic and can you sit and or are you ADHD and it's like,
Well, that's just
now we're
so
scrolling where there are multiple things, and how does your brain
has
work?
affected
Yeah.
his schoolwork.
Well, and there's like all
100%.
this scientific study. It's like
100%.
human beings cannot multitask. It's not possible. I'm like, I don't even know if that's like, but maybe the human brain is rewiring itself.
Where it can.
It's like, is the human brain rewiring for multitasking?
Like we'll evolve in 100 years.
Yeah, it's like no, in like 15 years, like these kids' brains are just gonna like, as they go through adolescence, like no, the human brain has now rewired itself to. It's like I got a fucking USB jack in my ass, and I can multitask like a bastard.
Well, the fucking what's that called? That Elon Musk there.
Neuronet.
I'll tell you,
Another
I-
Elon
I-
Musk podcast.
when I pull into
Fuck 'em.
Calgary, when I'm driving on the #1 highway, I have finished most of the parts of the Caribbean film, so I can multitask. Not safely or effectively.
Yeah, what is? I guess my question would be, what is the definition of multitask?
Do 2 things effectively.
Simultaneously.
So like,
Simultaneously at the same time.
so like driving and listening to something.
No, you got to be like completing some kind of a task.
I wouldn't say driving is necessarily an active task either.
No.
Like you can
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
You can switch from driving to something else and effectively drive.
Like
Yeah.
for example,
You couldn't like, let's say it was a drive where it was a course where
Do math calculations and write an essay at the same time.
or like driving, but somebody's going to jump in front of your car without you knowing. Can you do that and watch a thing at the same time? No, you're going to
Well,
get somebody.
but one thing is they're both visual input.
Can you do your day job while listening to a podcast?
I do it all the time.
Simultaneously.
I do it. I usually have I'm listening to
It's-
something, audiobook, something while I'm
I would love
dishes,
to say
editing,
yes,
whatever.
but if I really break it down, it's like, okay, if I'm running numbers over here as I'm listening to something, it's like
If
my
I gave you a
focus is
quiz
here,
on the
and then
thing
I
you were
stop
listening
and
to, you
all,
were-
and then I'm
It's
here.
more like
It's
you
like a
listen to
back
two
and forth.
podcasts simultaneously.
Yeah,
you
no, you
can't.
And
can't.
answer a
Your-
quiz
your-
for both
Your
of
brain
them.
is only going to take in one
Yeah.
information at a time.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to.
But, like, can
I
kids
have
do
to
that
take
now?
a piss like super bad. Can I just run upstairs real quick? You guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
You
we're
mind if I-
probably getting close to wrapping too.
We can talk about how different our parenting style is, because my 12-year-old kid has an older iPhone, and she is limited to 15 minutes of YouTube per day.
Yeah, my kid only watches. I let him watch YouTube on the family TV in the living room for a limited amount of time.
Because it's gonna have that doll with the eyes that are like, kill yourself, or what was that fucking thing?
That was a fake thing, also, just
Oh, yeah,
full
okay.
full whatever. That wasn't actually like it
What
was
was
one of
that
those
thing
things
called?
that blew up.
Momo.
Momo. Yeah.
Momo says,
What was funny was kids heard about it and they thought it was real.
Yes.
And kids were trying to find it.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yes, it was-
It had a fucking crazy effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, my daughter is telling me things about, the YouTube Shorts, but I see those same videos or similar videos on TikTok.
right.
So it doesn't really matter which platform you.
Yeah,
No,
it's the
certainly
same.
not.
It's the same thing.
Videos are all the
All
same.
the apps are trying to be the same. app,
Yep.
you know.
Yep. And that's what I do too. Like when I create, I say it when I create a TikTok video, it's a video that I also post on Instagram and sometimes on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it all depends on how long the video is. Because YouTube Shorts is only 60 seconds, Instagram is 90, and TikTok can go up to 3 minutes.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like we're like I'm to a certain extent Gary V. Like we're not social media, the Pandora's box is open. We're not going back to
No,
no
we're
to
not
no
going to
social
stop
media.
it anytime soon. No.
No.
No, it's yeah.
My grandmother recently passed away. Well, not recently, but over a year ago now. But she never accessed the internet in her entire life.
And she was almost 100.
Yeah, she was just about 100 years old, 96 years old,
That's a skill.
and she was probably getting to a point where, if she lived another 10 years, like almost getting impossible to achieve that.
Yep.
But to have lived through all the things that she saw, but to never have because she lived internet access like late 90s, like she was like fucking almost 30 years in the internet era and never accessed once. What a different.
Well, like you and I remember pre-internet and post-internet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Drew, there is no pre and post-internet. Like it's always existed.
Yep.
There's always that option.
Yeah. It will be interesting. It was like, they have like all the Civil War vets are dead. Now all the World War I vets are dead and all the World War II vets are dead. There's going to be, this is the last person born that never accessed lived before the internet. They had an internet access. And like, wow, is that fucked? And we might be more different than the greatest generation. They're going to end up lumping us in with the greatest generation. It's like,
We were born after internet.
no, but like general access to actual
you
access to
maybe.
internet.
What year were you born in?
94.
Greatest year ever in history time.
But I mean, I would.
94 is when Senna died. That was not the greatest.
And Kurt Cobain was there too.
And I think didn't Montreal Canadiens win the Stanley Cup that year?
It's like think about all the greatest people who
Puke.
died were all reincarnated.
93.
93? Wasn't it like 92, 93, 94?
No.
Didn't they win it like multiple years in a row there?
We're not talking hockey, guys.
Anyway, but no, yes, I could have probably had very rudimentary access to the internet, but I grew up without the internet until I was 12 or 13 years
What
old.
was the very first thing that you looked up on the internet?
I hooked up our Windows 98 computer. I remember when we got it. It had 10 gigs on the hard drive. And I tried to find LimeWire or something that was like LimeWire, and I wanted to download Eminem. I wanted Eminem music so bad my parents would not let me listen to it. And I battled and battled and battled, and then Mom still has it. I went in Microsoft Paint and wrote this thing. It's like, I love you, Mom, and then printed it out. And it was like the entire sheet was burgundy. Like I like took the paint can and filled the background on and then printed it. So like I'm pretty sure I used an entire, what was back then, an entire cartridge of ink, color ink. And my dad's like, a cartridge of ink, that's like $480. Like, I can't believe, like, and then it was no printing in this house. You print sensitive taxation documents or nothing. Like that.
Right.
That's what you do. So there's another fucking disappointing thing. Fucking printer technology still hasn't caught up.
Oh fuck! I hate printers.
How about people still like using faxes?
Oh my god! Don't get me started.
Yeah.
It's like, just fucking, can I just email it to you?
No.
An
Yeah.
encrypted email? Like, why do I have to fax this to you?
There are secure portals that you can log into and upload documents safely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not
DocuSign.
going to use that.
Yeah.
Get a fax machine.
And fax is fucking old.
Dude.
Like from the 1800s or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
fax is
But-
very old.
Quick trick: go to faxzero.com. You can send free faxes.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah. We're looking for a sponsorship, Fax Zero. So you
Where's
got a
that-
free service.
Where's that fax zero money,
Yeah.
baby?
But no, I mean, you guys are a bit older than we are. I remember not having a phone for the longest time. Like, obviously, I'm also pre-smartphone. My first 5 phones were not
Oh yeah.
smart.
The
were
only
dumb phones.
only reason I had a flip phone in high school was because
You
I
were
was
living abroad.
I was living abroad. I was in the dorms and like I needed a phone to be able to call
To
home.
contact them.
That was
So
the
what-
only reason.
So what was the first thing?
Did you have internet in Europe
MSN
before you moved
Messenger.
here?
MSN Messenger was like the
For how
first.
long?
Really?
Well, I met Jennifer online, so
Yeah, right.
What
Fuck.
year would that have been?
98, 90,
96.
maybe 2000.
No, earlier.
The first, I remember this.
94, 95.
So, like, the whole fucking dial-up and all that shit, right?
Like,
When
was
when
dial-up
internet came
Europe?
up?
Like you said, through your telephone provider?
we had dial-up, then we had DSN for a while, and then DSL came in.
DSL. Dick sucking lips, bro. First thing I ever looked up on the internet was nude photos of Terry Hatcher. That was the first
I
thing
thought you were
ever
going to say
looked
nude
at.
photos of Terry Schiavo, but
No, Terry Hatcher.
Jesus Christ.
I shouldn't have said that.
And I remember just, dude, it was me and my dad. My
It's
dad
like,
and
come
I.
check
That was
his
the
internet
first thing.
out,
It was
son.
like, what do you do with this thing? I'm like, here, let's just look up some nudies.
Let's do some greasy
was,
francophone
So what?
shit.
How
Get
old?
in here.
What you been like? 16, 17?
Something like that. Yeah, in that vicinity. Something like that.
I think the first like internet access I remember was MSN Messenger and like everyone on setting your status and like by whatever like grade 7, grade 8, all of us on MSN Messenger.
See, I couldn't fucking MSN Messenger till I moved to Luther.
Yeah.
Because I was in the rural community.
Yeah.
I had fucking dial-up. So, like,
Yeah.
when I jumped from essentially 1996 to 2008, like, I jumped so far in advance because when I left Hazlet, my grade 1, 2, 3 computer was like a Mac with no operating system and just a disk drive. So, like, I was living about 5 years in the past,
Right.
technologically, and I get the dorms and there's like high-speed internet here. I'm like, high-speed internet?
To all the students.
I'm like,
Yeah.
holy fuck. Like, this is fucking insanity. Like, you can just, like, download stuff and it doesn't cost. I remember, like, I left my parents' dial-up hooked up for, like, 3 days. It was like, our bill came, it's $2,700 because you never unhooked the dial-up when you were done.
Yeah.
Fuck, I remember doing that with the cell phone. So my dad I was dating a girl
I
from
paid
Prince
for
Albert,
ringtones. Like, come
and he
on.
had one of those cell phones in the vehicle. It was plugged into the
Vehicle
cigarette
phone.
lighter.
Yeah,
Bag
we
phone,
had
yeah.
bag,
Bag
phone.
phone, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was in the truck, and I was dating somebody from the city, and it was long distance. So the long distance charges from the house line were just fucking ridiculous, right? And we'd be on the phone. You know how kids do it, right? Hours at a time at that time. So he had encouraged me, well, use the phone in the truck. Like, go in the garage. You can go talk for hours out there because it's a Prince Albert phone number. So whatever. But yeah, just the hours of long distance phone calls. And I remember, like, after 6, it was free.
That was the
You know,
time to
shit
call.
like that, or
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking
weekends
free
at
at
With Luther,
night
I remember
and
with at
shit
Luther,
that.
like, wait till after this time to call because it's
Cheaper. I had a
it's
fucking
cheaper.
phone card and we had a pay phone.
Yeah.
I had a fucking SaskTel phone, prepaid phone card
Yeah,
because I didn't have a cell
And
phone.
just going back for a moment to Francois, to things that are ruining this generation. You know what's really ruining this fucking generation? Fucking texting. Call. How about you pick up and fucking call people?
I would
I
agree with you 100%.
fucking hate texting. I fucking hate it.
Depends on what it is. I'm on my way.
If
I'm
I
not gonna call
if if I need like specific information, an address, it's like a literal like I'm on my way, that kind of thing. Yeah, sure. Anything more than that, just pick up the fucking phone.
But
and call
don't
me.
have a fucking discussion with me through text because
I
it's
hate
quicker to
it.
just say
Yeah.
it than it is to type
But also,
a fucking
vice versa,
documentary.
Don't have a fucking discussion with me. If you're gonna call me for information, don't fucking try to then have a fucking discussion with me because I just want information.
Yeah.
Like, it works both fucking ways.
See, and that's the thing. You want to call, and I want to text. And when we have a conversation, you tell me something, and then when we hang up, I forget, and then you're upset that I forget.
True.
But
Record it.
I want it in a text. That's why I wanted you to text me, so I have it, and tomorrow I can remember it because it's in my text.
Yeah, utility is huge. That's true.
Yeah.
Having it recorded is nice. I've never.
You delete all your texts right away.
Well, I have to. Like, no, I screenshot them if they're important. Then I have them saved for good.
Why do you delete them?
Because
What's the purpose of that?
like I'll have like 180 conversations and then I clear them down to 5 and then the next day I have 180 conversations and I have to delete them so that I can keep. It's like the information is like if I have like really prudent stuff that's like 180 conversations down, I'll just forget it and never get to it. It's like stuff at the brewery, stuff at my farm, stuff at this. Like my texting isn't like, hey, how's your day going? My text is like, I need this for this date and this time. I need money for this and this and this.
Right.
Please send to this bank account. And it's like, like my fucking text conversations will fill up like 200. I get like 150 phone calls. One time Andrew called me, and so I hung up and called him back. I'm like, there, now you're officially phone call 100 today. I had 100 phone calls in one day.
And it was like
100 phone calls.
And it was like
That's
two.
insane.
It was like 3 p.m.
You should see my fucking. I still get SaskTel printouts of my phone records. Kelsey's comes, it's 2 pages, double sided, and mine it's like literally this fucking thick. It's like just roll of phone calls, text, phone call.
Crazy.
Oh, it's
dude.
fucking awful. It's terrible.
Just hang on. Why are you getting them on paper?
No, because it's funny as fuck, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
free to get the paper anyway.
Dude, I still get all my bills on paper too, like SAS Power, SAS
Really?
Energy, all that shit, because
that.
it's
Fuck that.
easier
Yeah,
to
paperless baby.
when I file my taxes. It's like, all right, this bill was paid. This go like it's just for filing instead of having to fucking print an email out and record that it's paid and all that shit. They just
Why?
mail it. I just told you why.
You don't need a
No.
paper copy of it. I
You
do
don't
it
need a
because
paper copy. You
if
just
I
put
don't
it in
have
a
a bill
folder
and I don't
paid.
put the bill in the fridge, the digital
No,
document will
because
get lost in my.
you need to keep all your receipts for 7 years.
Yeah, but you can have a digital copy
and
of
they
it and then
can
print
be in
it.
a folder on my computer.
And then if you need to
If
print it,
if
you can.
CRA wants them, I'll print them.
Yeah, well, I'm old school that way too. I fucking give me a pen and paper, and I'll file that shit. I got boxes of receipts.
Yeah, and then your house goes on fire. Bye receipts.
Yeah. Well, so be it. As long as my
I mean, I think
taxes
there are bigger problems if your house goes on fire
yeah,
than your receipts
right?
being
yeah.
burnt. But it's
That's
true.
like the most. If my vehicle ever gets broken into, the most valuable thing in my vehicle is receipts. That's probably if they were to. I wouldn't be pissed about the toonie or the cigarettes on the counter there.
There shouldn't be cigarettes in there.
Yeah,
My charge cable is probably the most expensive thing
there shouldn't
in my
be
car.
anything in there.
But no, I kind of going back to the closing on the internet thing. I just think, well, I mean, you guys were all in the space very much, so I can't believe I went from pre-internet to internet, and now I feel like the internet is kind of getting away from me.
Like with AI and
Well, just like
all
what's
of it.
going on. Like I
It's a
didn't
grumpy
even
old
fucking
man
know
thing.
about
The
whole-
this dang TikTok and the kids
I didn't
on
even
their
know about
TikTok.
this fucking chat GPT
That's why you
thing.
need kids, bro. You need kids to keep you in the
Chat
fucking
G-
loop
what's wrong with
about
Chat
what's
GPT?
going on.
No, I just didn't know about it.
Oh,
And so
okay.
Andrew like writes this thing the other day, and fucking Thomas was writing me this thing. It's like, this is fucking terrifying that this is happening now. Like that's scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
right now it's regulated though.
I reviewed
Not
the
yet.
I reviewed the
It will be.
I reviewed the people who did the cleaning. Great job. 5 stars. I started going through the reviews. Oh my, how many people have already used ChatGPT to just whip up a review for people? And
You can- once
soon
you
you will
see
not
it.
be able to tell, but you can still obviously tell because it's in its infancy. But ooh, pretty scary. We got a fucking Prehistoric Productions review, a negative one that finally, thankfully, got deleted. It was by Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And
How'd you get that deleted?
well, we just
Reported it.
reported. I think thankfully Darth Vader only had 1 review and it was just to us and it was 1 star. And I mean, they probably like, hey, chat, you write this? ChatGPT's like, oh yeah, I wrote that. Okay, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
we figured anyway.
I want to ask, do you have that access to that right now? ChatGPT? Ask it how Bitcoin prediction in the next 2 years.
It can't predict. It can only do in the future, in the past.
Yeah. It there's certain things it won't do.
Yep.
Like it won't write you anything about violence or anything sexual.
Isn't it something it won't write about? It won't say anything negative.
I asked it
about
for
Biden,
its input on
but
the Israeli-Palestine conflict, and it definitely did not want anything to do with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even tried it yet.
I haven't either. It kind of scared me.
I
Well,
use
we
Dolphin.
asked for a 1-star review from a film production company, and it was
verbatim.
structured almost exactly
Yeah.
the same as the one we got. And it was like, okay, well, fair enough, whatever.
Yeah, it's scary, man. I know what you mean about it getting away from you.
Their reviews are going to be worthless.
They already are.
It already is.
They already are.
Yeah, basically, but I'm like, in 10 years, or not 10 years, 3 years, they're going to be worthless.
Yeah.
It won't fucking matter. You'll see a positive review and be like, this means nothing. None of this came from the heart. Like, this is.
Well,
machine.
that's the thing on Amazon too. Like, product reviews are all written by either bots or farms in India, computer farms that just review products because they
Is
got
it
paid to do
possible
so.
to just fucking pull the plug?
On what?
The internet.
If
No.
you could create a large enough, what's it called?
EMP?
EMP machine, yeah.
Then no.
You'd have to hit
But then you'd also destroy all like electronics. It wouldn't just be the internet.
Yeah.
We gotta do all electronics. So
No.
Billions will die.
The only part that will go out is where you set off that.
Well, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
not
You
global.
gotta go everywhere.
No.
You gotta build
You can't
these-
turn it off.
You gotta
Period.
build these things over 200 years. Huge infrastructure, like you're a Musk kind of guy. You got billions to invest in this project over 200 years, and then 200 years, all of them go off.
Yeah, like I can't even. You
back
saying
to
that
that.
gets me back into like how quasi the internet is. It's like an interconnected, non-existent, like non-centralized. Like, oh, what
If you turn off the internet, the world shuts down.
Yeah.
Billions die. We all die, probably. I think I've
Yeah.
seen documentaries about like
Okay.
every dam shuts down, everything shuts down. So it's like there's no agriculture, there's no nothing. Like food ceases. So
See-
then you have like small tribes that survive.
Traffic
Right.
Traffic
well,
stops.
that's just it. It's
It's
so
Mad Max.
that makes sense, but I remember
8
living
farmers
in a
in rural
world
Saskatchewan,
with
I don't
no
need it. It's like,
internet, and
All right,
if-
you can technically live. Yes.
yeah, like if we pulled the plug on the internet, like Joel Gadet, would still be okay. I can fucking go shoot and skin a deer and cut it up. And
Yeah, if you could do that,
plant
you could.
potatoes.
How'd
in
you
the
get
most-
your money?
I won't need money.
He's just gonna
What do
live.
I need money for? There's no internet. What do I need money for?
You want to buy your ammo,
I can just make it.
You
right?
gotta start learning now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think everybody thinks they have the skills cultivated, or like a lot of people think they have all the skills cultivated to like survive in this world. Yeah, there's a show called Alone. Have you ever seen it?
And nobody
Love
know
alone.
of it.
There-
Love alone.
There are people who literally their whole thing is survival. That's what they do. That's their whole hobby. They do it for large swaths. They can't do a fucking month.
But they're
off
also,
the grid.
but they're also dropped into like
And they're also-
the
and
rainforest,
they're-
aren't
but
they?
They're also limited in what they can bring
I know,
too.
but this is the creme de la creme. These are people who are spending all their time
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah.
Some fucking blow Joe in rural Saskatchewan, like whatever. It's like you will very quickly learn what things that you take for granted that we have in our society that you don't even think about.
With alone though, it's like,
I have a solar system with well water and a pump and like 40,000 bushels of lentils. Like in the most rudimentary sense, I could definitely like continue to exist because I think you can live. You could probably just subsist off of lentils.
Oh yeah.
Like
What
they're
happens if it's winter? And like,
we have them already in the bushel, already harvested.
Yeah.
40,000 bushels.
I know,
What if
I
they
know.
What if 1 year there's a crack in your thing and it rots? Fuck, you're fucked.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, like right now,
Oh, right.
like
Yeah.
for,
Yeah,
not
it's like-
not indefinite subsistence. No, because it's like you could just keep farming. It's like no, I can't farm any diesel fuel to farm. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you could just get some horses and cultivate like they used to back in the horse and
mean,
buggy days.
Uh-huh.
I could, yeah, I could. I don't have that skill set.
Yeah, but you're smart enough to figure it out.
It's not worth living. That's
You're just like,
at that point, like,
just die.
That's like, do you want to be alive?
I just like
think I'd
just
be totally okay.
watch my downloaded porn on my phone till the battery runs out, then kill myself, and then that's
Just
it.
get as many cranks in as you can. And then,
until my phone battery dies, and then that's good enough.
Hell yeah, dude.
The second
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh fuck, 5%. Okay,
Wrapping things up here a little bit.
you've got one. Would you rather?
Yes.
And then we're out of here.
Okay. Would you rather never be able to close your eyes or never be able to close your mouth?
I barely close my mouth as it is.
He barely closed his mouth as it
Well,
is.
but like close your that's no chewing. Like you gotta close your mouth to chew.
Yeah, but not all the way. 'Cause
Sure
to
you do.
chew
Is
Are
it
we
close
saying,
your
like-
lips or your
Like
Yeah,
eyes,
your lips
eyes
or
are
your
dried out in
teeth.
2 days and they're shot. Like you're fucked. Like, or my eyes.
You can blink, but you can't intentionally close your eyes.
You could just put a sleep mask on.
Also, there are people who have conditions who can't blink their eyes and they live just fine.
Really?
You
Yeah.
can- you
I'll
can
I'll
live
take
without
that.
blink- you
I'll
can live
take
without
I'll
blink.
take eyes. I'd like my mouth shut.
Yeah.
I learned this summer that I can live through intravenous, so I don't need to eat. I just need to
just
enjoy-
NG tube and IV fluids.
I love the hour hand thing.
I think I would go with the eyes.
Go for the eyes.
Yeah, go for the eyes. Yeah, I think I would rather my eyes stay open. Because, like, to sleep, you can just put a sleep mask on.
Andrew.
I think I gotta go eyes as well. I gotta go eyes. Yeah.
Would you? I got a would you rather.
Oh, and I'd just be like feeding out of my NG tube, and you guys would be all like this. I'd be like, that feels good. That feels good.
This steak is delicious.
Just fucking that tube. That's good grits. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Why don't you tell us what else is coming up? Maybe some future guests you've got that you want to announce, or
Just plug what you
plug
got going
whatever
on.
you want to plug.
When's this episode dropping?
This is at like mid-December, 18th-ish.
Well, right now, you know what? I'm doing a GoFundMe campaign for Bellevue Care Home. So
This is
I
about the
mean-
tree in the French language. Shit?
Well, the tree
another
was.
thing.
That's another thing. Yeah, that's another dude. Lots of cookie jars.
Bonjour, je m'appelle. Like you sound like me trying to read it.
I know, dude. I didn't
You
have
have a
enough time.
conversational, fluent French speaker. Anyway, if you have a chance, look at him try and read a thing in French.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
You got the care home fundraiser. You got the Christmas tree lighting.
Christmas
Well, that's
tree
already
lighting.
already passed. I guess.
Podcasts we've been recording live at
every
the
Thursday.
Capitan restaurant, so you guys are more than welcome. There's no cover, but you do have to be 19 and over to come to those. So that's fun hanging out with those artists.
If you want to buy records, you can do so at funkymooserecords.ca. If you
right.
need digital marketing for your band or whatever, really, go to funkymooseDigital.ca. If you want me to help you with your Shopify store, I can do that too.
Moose Fest is going to be August
Fest.
10th.
August 10th.
Wow, that was on the TV right when you said that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
What a great logo. What the hell else? Oh, and keep an eye out on Josh Stumpf, guys.
Yep.
We've been working. We're definitely going to help him. He's got 3 more that we're going to help release coming up, and 3 more releases, as well as a cute little couple videos coming up. One with you guys, Prehistoric Productions, and then
cute little video with prehistoric.
we got him booked in for a 1 mic session that's going to be filmed December 2nd. So I'm not sure when that's going to get released. So keep an eye out for that.
I
There's
just want to
lots of shit.
say I appreciate you guys inviting us for this again.
Dude, any opportunity
Always.
I get to hang
Of
out
course,
with you guys,
I'm glad we
I'm
could have
all
you
in,
guys.
man.
Thanks so much for making the trip in.
Ride
Yeah.
or die for you guys, man. Anything.
We love you
Okay,
guys.
next episode will be your stupid thing,
Yeah.
I think. Or is that
They're
Sounds
gonna
like the
they're gonna
name.
think it's really stupid. Hey guys.
We don't film it out
so
of
much
order.
respect.
That sounds like a name of a show. Your stupid thing? Your stupid thing.
I think if that makes sense.
That's
in
next
order.
one we're filming. I don't know what number it is, but anyways,
Check
it's
it
gonna
out.
be fun. It'll be fun.
Thanks everybody.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
I already ate a
See ya.
bird's eye chili. Can't get any worse than that.